this is actually our intro for the pre-show because we're actually not even going to be starting the show yet. We just want to shoot the show to you guys first, see what you guys are up to. Alan, was that fun or what tonight, man? Playing some Ark with the crowd, chilling, all that good stuff.
Setting up a bet that I hope I don't lose.
Oh yeah, yeah. Basically, Ganja, if you don't know what happened, basically Alan set up a bet that Han Solo is not going to make its money back. But then how long?
No. You got to specify. I said that it's right now it made 200. It's been out for a week and it didn't make its budget back. And I said that it's not going to get past 450 million, like 450 million in the next couple of by the time I don't know when the end date was, but I said in the next couple of weeks. I said that's not going to happen. And Julian's like, no, it's going to get 600 million plus. I'm like, okay, if I lose and it gets past 450, I will watch any movie that Julian asks me to.
Yeah, so you know how that's going to end up, Ganja. Like, I mean, Alan makes these bets kind of like how
Well, even Penelope was fucking freaking out from the sounds of it. Like, she can't even believe that he made such a reckless deal upon your life.
If he loses, he watches Yoga Hoses again. I think we both win.
I don't give a fuck.
I like how she's all slow, like nah.
Yeah, she's like, oh really? He just starts kind of like going off in her own fucking headspace. But yeah, man,
we'll be fine.
But people, BBM saying, yeah, he's been head deep in some manga and anime stream for 4 hours. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of fucking manga for you, brother. Jesus,
dude, anime weebs are weird. No offense, BBM.
Wow, you realize what you just said, man? They're weird. No offense.
You've insulted entire countries before. Don't be on your high horse.
Right? Yeah, I heard you saying those racial slurs on the fucking previous stream, man. Don't think you got away with that shit.
Okay,
hey, man, make sure to check out me and the new show on the MCA. Me and Nick are producing together. It's called Fresh Off the Fence. It's gonna star Gary Lopez.
God damn it, dude!
I'm sure we can get George Lopez now. Honestly,
no, we get his second cousin.
Fresh Off the Fence. I'm so sorry about that shit. I did not mean to say that, even though no one's Asian here. But and then I just worked because I thought it was about Mexicans, so I was like, "Oh yeah, this Mexican show is called Fresh Out the Fence." That's fucked up. What you call it? Raheem ain't good, Nick. You're bringing up the Golden Treasure Awards. Yeah, man, I gotta bring that shit because that was some fucking ridiculous stuff.
Ooh. I was about to say who.
Yeah, man, it's insane. We'll talk about that too in a little bit. But anyways, I'm gonna go do something really quick, guys. Y'all run the show like you guys typically do for the pre-show, and I'm out of here. Peace.
Well, since I'm going to take over the shit, because you had the show earlier with these nice gentlemen, so they haven't got to see me yet. I see Red Robot King. What's up, brother? I love you, baby. How are you guys doing up in the chat room? Alan's looking up there. Like usual, this is our chance to do Q&A, so you got any questions, answers you want to ask us. Me and Alan are pretty much open with these things, kind of like when it comes to Q questions. Just have fuck around.
What's with Shark right now? Alan, you have a bird for a pet? How is that normal? I'm like, you know, my nickname is Birdman, right? This isn't new.
Fuck have you been?
Dude, that reminds me, like, we were doing the view after I was viewing party one time, and JP's like, yo, don't you guys find it weird that Alan has a bird on his shoulder? And it's like, what is...
Even Penelope's insulted by what's weird about having a bird on your shoulder. Pirates had a bird on their shoulder, and they were fucking cool. They robbed, pillaged, raped, and shit, and everyone makes Disney movies about them for some reason.
Yo, man, I had a buddy of mine that was talking to me about this shit, because I was telling him, like, I had a bird and stuff. And he's like, yo, you know pirates... captains used to write in their logs that if you're fighting a pirate and they have a bird, go for the bird first, because apparently the pirates chain parrots to attack people and distract them. So could you imagine like a bird's flying in your face and then you just get stabbed in the heart when you're fighting a pirate? So rule was, when you're fighting a pirate, go for the bird first.
I like how Penelope slowly turned around as you mentioned these tactics.
She's just like, I gotta get out of here.
I'm not big enough for that. I only can take your eyebrows out. But guys, I love that you guys are here for the Midnight Chat Attack. I hope you guys appreciate the stream earlier. You guys were playing Ark. How did you guys think that too? Did you guys enjoy the chat? And Alan, how did you enjoy it?
It was okay. One of those things where it's like when I'm building, I'm super focused. So I'm just like, hey, gather resources, build stuff. And I'm almost like kind of muttering to myself. I'm like, this isn't going to work. I got to do this. So people in chat are probably like, yo, who's this guy having a conversation with? So it's probably a little difficult. I'm not sure how the chat kind of enjoyed it. They seem to be like talking and having a good time, so that was fun. But it's just like I know that it's like it's like me fighting games. When I have to focus on something, I'm super focused.
Right. Hey, Ruthless, so good to see you here, man. Especially that you ain't got no fucking power. You know, that good old U.S. infrastructure ain't what it used to be. So I don't know if you heard, but through Facebook, because we all follow you guys. If you add us on Facebook, we will follow back and add you guys back. Or go sign up to the Facebook page. That way we can follow you guys through there. But, you know, Ruthless, I guess he's been dealing with his power out for the whole day. I think there was a big storm or some shit.
I thought it was more than a day.
I think it was like, I think I saw his first post at like maybe 8 or 9 o'clock this morning, and I have took a nap again, and I think it's still going on to the point that he's living off his phone and whatever kind of battery juice he preserved from the previous day.
Well, he probably has. If he's like me or like a lot of people, probably has like an external power bank or something that he kept charged for just such occasions. So it's like I don't think he has to worry too much. But I mean, hopefully he can stick around for the show. But obviously we get it if he's like, yeah, I'm only gonna be here for 5 seconds and then leave.
What's up, Chris Brown? Yes, Big Bird is the dopest motherfucking bird. But I gotta ask you a question: how do you like being back in your hometown of New York City after being in the great land of socialism known as China? I mean that jokingly, Alan. Let's not start a debate, please.
I'm not going to.
Okay, thank you. I never thought I would get. I never thought that you would like not have a chance to just fuck with me like that. Like I'm so proud of you. Our friendship is blooming. It's growing. Hug me.
Hey, even I pick your battles. I know that one.
Come here. Hug me. Hug me, Alan. Come closer.
No.
Alan, come closer. Stop resisting, Alan. Give me your consent, Alan. Give it to me.
Hell no. I need an adult.
I am an adult, motherfucker. Bring that birdie ass back. But, you know, I just want to talk about some shit we've probably been doing this last 2 weeks. What do you got planned for the coming weeks? You got anything you're going to be doing? Because I know you're out of school right now, so you're pretty much free. So, any plans?
Literally nothing. I'm trying to plan. Honestly, I know I've dropped a bunch of hits, but just the year 2 edit has been fucking kicking my ass, man. Like, that's one thing I've been working with. I'm not playing Arc, which is just throwing everything out of whack. It's just editing the hell out of that. Like, I'm finally got to the point where I'm like, hey, I can actually like start to do something. So hopefully in the next couple of days, y'all will have like almost done. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna string everything together. Because for everyone that saw the year 1 edit, it was very specific of like how I want to do it. Where it's like, hey, we're gonna intro the hosts, we're gonna intro some recurring guests, and then we're gonna do some running gags. That was the whole point of it. With this, it's different. It's year 2. I gotta up the ante. I gotta do some different things. So it's like, hopefully y'all like it.
All right. Oh, and, Mr. Gary Eakin wants to know.
I'm fucking ready. I don't want to hear this. I want to hear you. You're going to talk shit.
Hold on. I'm not going to talk shit, but I will do something to annoy you on your day of hypeness when it comes to E3. So, are you guys ready for E3? Now, response to him.
Oh, Lord.
I love you, Gary Eakin. Every time I get a chance to do your voice, I put my all into it. It's like the only time I get to actually act on this show, and I appreciate you as a fan. He doesn't, but I do.
No.
Feeling good, all this diversity in food and beer is pleasing me. So they don't really have a diversity of food in China? Because
they don't have beer over there?
I'm pretty sure they have beer, but they probably have some shitty local beer. Like, you're probably not get like international stuff unless it's probably expensive in the major cities. Because I know like only that stuff is kind of allowed in like I think Hong Kong.
Hey, every country has gin.
Every country has gin, but they have juice. That is the true question. Oh no, and all of that, I think they like to drink sake out there. I think that's the drink.
Yeah, that's probably the drink of choice. But then again, if you're going to China and you're ordering Heineken, there's something wrong with you.
Oh man, that's one thing I can't wait for. I'm going. I don't know if you guys know here in the Midnight Chat Attack, but I think I can say it now. It's really official at this point. I got all the rooms ready. The Wrath of Ruthless Runner helped me out this trip as well. I'm actually going out to Europe. I'm going to London and I'm going to Paris as well as Amsterdam. And one of the things I was surprised on is how international the food is out there. Like apparently you can get almost everything within England because the food is so international. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can get like international beer within Beijing or one of the major cities. But the question is, are you going to be able to go get that shit without the countryside? And I highly doubt that. You probably drinking that cheap shit. But one thing I'm excited for is actually going out to Amsterdam and doing the Heineken tour. Because, Alan, you know one thing. I know you hate beer, but enjoy this moment with me for a second and just appreciate that I'm going to go to the land where they create my favorite.
I'm going to do what you do with E3. I'm just going to lambast it and never give an opportunity.
You bitch. So here's the thing is, if you talk shit about beer, we have a lot of beer drinkers within this chat room right now.
And they're all wrong. I don't give a fuck.
And they're just going to crucify you. So, like, if I can speak my opinion.
And they can drink their own piss out of a glass. I don't give a fuck.
It's delicious cold piss straight from the brewery.
There are some that are fine. Guinness is great, but that's it.
Guinness only?
That's the only time I've ever had it where I'm like, I could do this often.
You don't like my Heineken, you bitch?
No, I'm sorry. You made me finish that.
You damn right I did. Don't waste my money.
Fair enough, but still.
Gary and Ganja show would be so... I can't read the rest because the pre-show is blocking it, but finish.
Thanks for just shoving me out of the way, Gary. Fuck you, too.
Hey, man.
I'm still here.
Hey, Alan, how about this? You could be our secret co-host.
Yeah, okay, I can live with that.
You'll be like our Trey. You come on bi-weekly like a period. No, you don't like
monthly.
That joke?
First of all, that's monthly. And second of all, why?
because I thought one would be a clever joke because of the time period, but then I realized the time period was a lot more extended than that. So when I realized that, I realized that the fucking thing just crashed and burned, and it hurts me that you just left me out to die within the flames and didn't even try to save me.
Yeah, that's your point.
Fuck you, that's my point. Adrian Blaine. Yes, a Gary and Ganja show would be amazing. I would do that with Gary only if we could review like something in pony related, because I want to make sure he goes fucking ape shit within the review. I want Gary to be Gary with like what he did for Nick within the Halloween shows. I think he did he do all? Yeah, he did the Halloween review shows real quick. Those are like a little highlight video, and I think I really appreciate him on that.
Man, also, I got 2 people right now in the chat that are like, "Y'all, no, my beer's terrible." So, ha.
All y'all just some high class bourgeoisie drinking motherfuckers.
No, they just like drinking other shit. What drinking whiskey and gin is bourgeoisie?
No, it's fresh.
You drank $100 wine. Don't fucking judge anybody.
That wasn't wine. That was champagne to celebrate.
Whatever.
That we were in a major city. How dare you turn the celebration to friends in time of
because you're the one sitting there acting all high and mighty because they didn't like Heineken.
You damn right.
Yes.
High on that pool.
Fight each other. Man. By the way, I just love how you motherfuckers are like the bestest of friends, but you guys fight so fucking often. It's the greatest thing in the world.
Yep.
Anyways, I don't know what everyone's been talking about in the chat and everything, but I think I'm pretty much about ready to go, sir. How about y'all?
Yes, let's start up.
Yeah, we're done.
About beer and how he's wrong about it.
Oh yeah.
And how most of the chat is on my side.
Wait, bull. Okay, now I know you're lying. They're never on your fucking side.
He's got 2 people. Let him have it.
That's 2 more than you.
Let him have
drink enough flavorful beers. If you drink piss water beers, that's your own fault. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Okay, Ruthless, you know this now. If it has alcohol in it, the alcohol in it, they're all gonna taste a certain part bad. I'm sorry, man. Like even the $80, I don't know how much that shit was, but we had this fucking wine that was one of the worst fucking things I ever tasted in my life. So yeah, they screw you guys over. I mean, I know you like getting fucked up, but you can get the same thing out of NyQuil. You know what I mean? Like fuck that, and that shit's cherry flavored. It's a lot better.
What are you, fucking high school student? Like, go to a fucking bar and get some gin, like gin and juice, man.
But I want to save money and I want a good flavor.
It's more expensive. Like, there's like $15 for a bottle of NyQuil.
Okay, and what would you get normally if you're
gin
boozing on the regular?
At a bar or a whiskey double? It's like $8.
Okay, and that would fuck you up.
Yeah, it would get me started, and it would get me pretty good.
See, started NyQuil will fuck you up. Started $8.
Yeah, but NyQuil will make you pass out.
That's what you want, motherfucker. Like,
not.
Are y'all comparing alcohol to lean? Because this is a whole.
This motherfucker saying you're the well, man. If you just had some NyQuil, man. But again, you're not some high school student where you're just gonna drink drunk off cough syrup.
By the way, not all high school students do this. I just want to say, any
yeah, you're right. A lot of them go out into bars illegally.
All right, man. We'll start. I'm sorry, man. I had to argue with you, Alan. That's our relationship. I just have to do it. But anyways, people, it's time to do our thing. And Ganja, I'm gonna have you lead this, sir. Why don't you do the thing that I love you doing all the time, man? Count down for me. 3, 2,
3, 2, 1. Go!
Go!
All
right.
I think I'm the only adult on this show.
Well, man, I don't know. I mean, you're not even telling us to ride the roller coasters, but it's okay because people.
Yeah, well, at least I can get into the fucking rail cars without them having to push it down.
Oh, I love this shit. People, it's midnight chat.
And I can't, for the record, I can't get on roller coasters.
No, I know you can. Look at that. Look at the dancing. It's all happy.
The record. People believe me. Oh, when I was a kid, that happened to me once, man. I got so mad because me and my brother were about. He's 4 years younger than me, but he's a lot taller. So I couldn't go on half the rides there, but he could, and it pissed me off.
Damn, man. That's the thing, though. It's a safety issue. I remember, like, I went on one that I was
I'll risk my fucking life.
I went on one when I was, like, 4 years old, and I was too small for it, but I guess the guy was cool. Well, I fell off. So, I mean...
It's your fault. You held on better.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't long. It wasn't a big one, but the thing is, like, yeah, it was fucking scary. It traumatized the fuck out of me. I will never ride roller coasters, goddammit. Ganja, do you ride roller coasters?
Man, all right. Was that a true story about you almost falling off? Because I gotta ask you. For real?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well, you're not the only one that's had almost a life-death experience with a roller coaster.
Y'all suck at roller coasters.
Because in Fort Lauderdale, we used to have this place called Boomers. If you guys don't know about anyone within Florida that knows what I'm talking about, it was an arcade, and it was also a music park / golf place that you would go with your family on every Saturday and Sundays and just pay money on arcades. It had like all the games in one. It was like a big-ass warehouse. And they invented they built a roller coaster in the back. It was called the Hurricane. Oh, my nipples so hard. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. They had go-karts and everything.
Oh, go-karts are great, man.
And they had the rock climbing and all this shit. I'm about to turn to a little 5-year-old. Let me continue my story, though. Like, in the back, they had an actual legit roller coaster that you could ride. I wonder if they're going to show it here within the preview. And what you get on, it was called the Hurricane. And it was an old school, just wood style Hurricane. Not wood style Hurricane, wood style roller coaster. And you just hop on and just ride. It was like maybe quick 2-3 minutes. And the thing about it is, like, the boomers, they started going out of business towards the end because I don't know what it was. It was either too expensive to manage or they didn't have the customer base to come out there anymore because, times change. People it's too expensive and whatnot to do shit. And they stopped caring about the fucking roller coaster. But that didn't stop me and my hooligan friends that like to smoke weed behind and play arcades and ride roller coasters. Still going here. So what happened was, I think it was like a Friday or Saturday night. We all hop onto the line. There's nobody there. It's just the conductor. And I hop onto one of the car seats by myself. I get near the front ones because I always like to ride in the front because I don't like drop downs. So I feel like if I ride in the front, the drop down goes a lot by faster than being in the back and feel the full force of the drop.
That's not how that works, but sure.
Matt, this is my safety net. Leave me alone. So as the car,
you're like, what? You think in the front of the plane you're gonna be fine for the crashing?
Hey, but I'll be dead first. My point is, like, I get into the car and I'm trying to put the safety bar down, and it's not latching, right? So I'm thinking it's like, all right, he's probably gonna come do and check in, and he's got to make sure the latch pin works. So as I'm trying to push it down, the guy goes down and barely pushes my lap thing down, goes down the way and walks up. And I'm just like a stupid, like, maybe I was a 14-year-old kid. I was high at the time. I was a little awkward a little bit at the time. So, like, the guy goes up and he's about to start thinking. And before I can raise my hand, like, yo, man, my seat ain't done. That shit starts going. And we hit the corner, and I'm like a fucking horror movie, and I'm trying to latch this shit. So as it's going up, I can actually, how you feel the safety of the bar when you go on those rides?
Oh, yeah.
Tight? I don't have that. So I feel like my back is about to slide out the roller coaster. So I just start to grab it from under, and I'm holding on because the drop is coming soon. God. And I've been on this coaster like 1,000 times before, so I know what I'm about to endure without a safety belt. So as we're getting down, that shit hits that bottom, and I felt like I was about to get thrown out of that fucking cart, man. If I didn't wrap my arms underneath, I think my legs would have came out from under me. So the drop down goes, they take a picture, right? I have to hold on to the rest of this roller coaster. And it's an old school roller coaster, so when it hits those humps, it feels like it's falling. And it's dropping real hard. So as it's doing, I'm going, fuck that shit. Every fucking up and down drop. And at one point, I slide a little bit too far to the left, and I'm holding on to the rim. I'm screaming this whole time, but my friends behind me think I'm fucking around. So they're laughing their ass off. And just jokingly like, guys are gonna fall off the cart, man. He's fucking idiot. And we hit the corner, and it suddenly slows down. I let out so many cuss words. I told them to go fuck their mothers. Like, man, I was just so scared that I told the story to Allie. She was like, you should have sued them. You should have told your parents. I just want to leave. I almost died. Like, I almost had my own Final Destination one.
Oh, man, Allie does that all the time. You know, it's like, I got in this shootout. I almost died. Well, you should have done this. Like, that doesn't help me now.
Yeah, like, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but I fucking didn't.
Oh, man. I still love roller coasters too, Gary, but I make sure that lap shit is on.
Yeah.
And I had something similar like that happen to me, but it was a water slide. Huge water slide. It's one of those ones where it's like you get those weird, like, big, almost like mini pools, and then a bunch of your friends sit there. And at one point when we were going down, we were all fucking around and pushing each other. I fell out of that fucking thing.
Oh, man, dude.
So we're going, and I can hear my friends freaking out because they think I'm dead at this point. I'm sliding down, so I'm trying to hang on to the fucking thing because I know at some point we're going to fly into a pool.
Yeah.
So as we're flying, I smashed down. Luckily, I didn't break anything, or I would have. I get out like, yeah, I'm still alive, you assholes.
The best part, Nick, I forgot to mention it to you guys, was they took a photo of me on the drop down. So
so your ass is like hanging off like, ah!
Pure, like you never seen pure terror, like my face is.
if you like lied about it and said like, oh, I did this shit on purpose, people would be like, damn, you're such a good actor. You could have got yourself a fucking job with that shit.
I was crying a little bit.
Yeah, fuck that shit, dude. I don't like roller coasters at all, man. That shit scares the fuck out of me. But the thing is, you know what does scare me, Ganja?
What?
It doesn't scare me when people join a call and join a roller coaster that is this show. That would have been great if I had the fucking rules up. Anyways.
See, I was depending on you because I didn't have them up either. So, guys, to do the rules, newcomers, join the call first. We're all about those new, fresh smell of faces, people hopping off for the first time. We love you guys. And we, of course, love the people that are popping on who haven't been in a while. We see you. We love you. Bring your asses upon us in any way you can, either through the PMs, DMs, boxes, smoke signals, flares. We'll find you out there in open ocean and get you onto this show. Rule number 2, do not talk over each other.
Help me, I'm about to fall off this fucking thing.
Or make fun of a life and death moment that I had as a child, because that's just plainly rude and it ruins audio quality for later viewing. So please do not talk over each other. Rule number 3, please no nudity. This is a staple of squeaky clean YouTube, and we like to be squeaky clean boys and girls. So keep all your naughty bits to yourself, because that will get us kicked off the channel. So please no nudity. Rule number 3, don't give anyone else the link. We have a planned show, believe it or not, that includes certain topics, discussions, and conversational piece. So you don't have to link to anyone else. You're gone, and so is the dumbass that clicked it. Rule number 5, read the rules. And since Ali isn't here, my brother in arms,
don't be a dick, motherfuckers.
Motherfucker. Yeah. People. Yeah, man. So we're going to do this show pretty quick because tonight we got the after hours going on. Oh, my God. The after hours. I wonder what's going to happen there. Yes. Well, we're going to pull this up right now where everyone's going to yell at me and we're going to fight again because it's movies with smart-ass AI night where the movies are going to be Stealth, War Games, Ex Machina, 2001 Space Odyssey, and The Day the Earth Stood Still.
I still don't count that last one.
Now,
how did you not put Terminator or The Matrix on there?
Because the Terminator people probably wouldn't have picked. And believe me, I love me some Terminator. I think that's a very obvious one. Here's the thing: if you guys vote against, like, let's say we were all talking to Rap and everyone's like, "Dude, that does not count," I'll actually change that to Terminator or Matrix, and then we'll see which one.
Do it for me. I'll never ask the chat for anything else. Change The Day the Earth Stood Still to The Matrix. I'll deal with Nick talking shit about one of my favorite movies. I'll deal with that versus watching The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Okay, wait. When was the last time we watched The Matrix?
Probably like last year.
And it was still good to you?
Yeah, because it's still a good movie.
That wasn't a convincing, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it is, though, because that's a stupid fucking question.
I'm sorry,
like,
man.
You know, does Terminator 2 still hold up? You'd be like, yeah, fuck it does, like, again, because it's still a good fucking movie.
As opposed to the bad film that Matrix is.
The Matrix is a great fucking movie.
Really?
I'm not going to defend the sequels. If y'all hate, 2 and 3, that's your own fucking business, but the first one's great.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. But the thing is, we'll be obviously talking about those, or watching those movies tonight, depending on what you guys will actually be voting. And every 30 minutes, if you guys do not like what the movie is so far up to that 30 minutes, I think 30 minutes is a pretty good time to give a movie to see if it's good or not. If no one's liking it, we will give you another poll, and that poll will move on to the next movie.
Well, if you give 30 minutes to Space Odyssey, that shit's gonna be like Just Beginner.
That's true. The whole movie is like that, yo.
So what? You'll be me in Deep Impact? We're 20 minutes in. We don't even know. There's nothing about the asteroid yet.
Yeah, but at least Deep Impact had an asteroid at the beginning that presented some threat.
Did
this
it?
gives you nothing.
It didn't at all.
This gives you a monkey throwing a bone in the sky.
Half an hour before the fucking thing gets mentioned.
But the thing is, too, people, if you guys want to come to the show, just like Ganja said earlier, definitely go and message me, Ganja, or Alan if you guys want to come out for flex and chill and things like that, too, because we're going to be reviewing the shows, or the movies that we watched last Saturday. Speaking of movies that we've been watching and things that we've been doing last Saturday and things we've been doing days that have passed, I was really trying to find a way, Ganja, to mention this. I had trouble right now. You can tell. I was just saying words to see where I was going to land. But Facebook, check it out. The video game show, the UGS, the Uggs, because they're ugly.
No, fuck you. It's because they're beautiful, they're sharp, they're expensive, they're fine. Just like my fans at the Untitled Video Game Show, the show we do every Friday at 7:30 CST time. We've been fucking up that time for the last 3 weeks because Ganja got to eat, and I've been doing Ramadan, and I'm a hungry motherfucker. Hungrier than those hippos, apparently. Yeah. So when it comes to that shit, just give us some time. We're going to be done by the next 2 weeks, and after that, we'll be on regular schedule basis. But usually make sure to check us out about 7:30 CST time. That's where me and my beautiful Birdman co-host here, we discuss video game topics, play some good old video games. This week we played Fallout. We discussed Fallout news, and at one point I had to teach Alan the discussion of why RPGs are why RPGs and not first person.
Yeah, apparently in order to make a classic RPG, you have to have zero combat or fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So this shit's actually, I don't know. I'm looking
man,
at
the fucking chat is going out on your list, dude. I think Dijon's like, oh, I know her. I'm like, Robot House. Julian's like, War Games. Oh, wait, you've never seen War Games? What?
War Games is fucking great.
How have you never seen War Games? Even I've seen that.
Yeah, Shows One sucks and boring according to 13 Reasons Why. You know, by the way, 13 Reasons Why, I remember people talking a lot of shit about the first season in the sense of like, well, you know, aside from its message, it's actually, you know, a pretty shit show, whatever. I'm watching 13 Seasons Why, 13 Reasons Why.
That's a great fuck up.
Oh, great I love y'all.
Fuck!
I love y'all.
Nah, I hate you, man. 13 Reasons Why season. Dude, they have numbers and then, like 13 and then season 2 and then, like, reasons and seasons.
I get this.
Are you okay, Nick? Do you want to have a talk?
Everything is like, everything's the same. It's like saying the same word like 4 fucking times. It's crazy.
No, they're different numbers. 13 Reasons Why season 2 is not a difficult sentence.
It's hard for Nick. He's got to sound it out. He's got to think about the words and shit.
Oh man, really insane. For Gertz, where's Thor? Man, that guy, I can't stand fucking Gertz when he does that shit.
Still mad about me for that one.
Yeah, Patrick. By the way, I'm not trying to like you just to get you guys in there and everything too, because honestly, Gertz sucks, so it's not a big deal. But the thing is Gertz joins us on the Rabbit all the time for the after hours, and every time he comes in, he says, "Hey, what about Thor? Let's watch Thor," because you know. He did that once, and because everyone likes Gertz because he's senpai, because Double Toasted, we had to fucking watch that terrible fucking movie.
They voted for it!
They voted against it 3 times, but Gertz says it, and it's like, oh, let's all fucking watch it.
First of all, he said it. That vote happened twice with him in the room, first of all.
I don't care. It's all bad. Oh, no, that's not true. That's not true. He came in at the very end and said, let's watch Thor. And everyone was like, oh, okay.
No, this is what happened. He came in and said, yo, let's watch Thor. But nobody voted for it because 2 are the choices. When there was, I think it was 2 of the Marvel movies that were tied, I made a second poll and then put Thor in again as a joke because no one voted for it the last time.
You son of a bitch. And guess what we ended up fucking watching, Alan? Thor. I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate Thor.
I don't care.
I just love every minute of this because that was the night that Democracy died for the MCA.
No, that was not Democracy died. That was last 2 weeks ago when some idiots kept voting for Black Panther and Predator when there was already a tie happening.
Okay, by the way, I like that. Like, oh, the idiots who voted for what they wanted to fucking see, Alan.
But they knew there was a tie going on.
But that's the thing.
That's like, yo, man, Hillary Trump, I'm voting for Bernie. It's like, he's not even there.
No, he would have been. People should have voted for Bernie even more so. Your mindset is what had Trump fucking win. Like, yeah, no, you have to vote for what's actually good. Ganja did that. Ganja's a great man. He's smart. He knows all.
That's just chaos. Those are useless votes. This is like...
I don't know. I'm just trying to kiss Ganja's ass to keep him on my side at this point.
Hey, man, at least you're kissing my ass because I'm about to throw some hands at Julian talking about fucking 2001 Space Odyssey's a masterpiece. Fuck it.
Of course he says it's a masterpiece. Are you surprised by that?
Hey, yo, it's a masterpiece like those random paintings in museums are masterpieces. Yeah, to somebody.
Okay, here's the thing. I will say, I don't think it's a masterpiece, but it is the first of its kind. I have to give it that, dude. And the one thing I will say is that even though it's fucking boring,
it's the first of its kind, and that's the end of that story.
No, well, there's more to it too. I mean, like, this is one of those things where, yeah, like, you know, nowadays we have all these fucking movies that have weird little, like, oh, what did they mean by this? What did they mean by that? Blah, 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 blah. This had it all. And this was able to be in space and actually be more of an intellectual movie rather than being some kind of like, hey, let's do some Star Wars shit where we fly in space and start shooting at people and like, you, Ganja, loving this, or loving Star Wars more than this is, like, insane to me because they both take place in fucking space. And Star Wars is completely fucking stupid and cartoony, as this is more like a thinker's movie.
It's a thinker's movie in the last half hour and then maybe the first bit with the whole fucking ape scene, but the rest is just jerking off to cinematography and what they were able to do with the set designs. After that, it is really fucking boring to the point that I don't think Hal shows up to like the last 45 minutes. And that plot line just starts going. Then you're just like watching all these cool little special effects go one after another. It's like Waterworld. It's like, hey, let's see what else we can do with these special effects.
Man, I want that quote. 2001 Space Odyssey. It's like Waterworld.
And then the other movie that I'm really wanting to get on to you guys, I really want to watch War Games again. This movie is one of my favorite movies.
War Games is great. It's about a stupid kid that almost blows up the world because he's fucking stupid.
Well, see, he's the one that wasn't stupid. It was the government that was stupid. He was just trying to play a game and fucking be cool. The government's like, oh, we don't know technology, so they're gonna, you know. And I mean, I won't spoil the movie, but the government's fucking retarded. You know,
yeah.
and that's really what it comes
you
down
need
to.
A kid to solve this fucking. Jesus Christ! By the way, how did Terminator come out before or after War Games? Because isn't that the plot of T3?
Yeah, this is about 2 or 3 years afterwards, and
that makes so much sense. Yeah. 3 is just this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
The best part is like when I think of War Games, especially now that me and you have become close friends, I can honestly, through certain methods you way to find gamers through legal websites and means, I could see you accidentally stumble across this by just fallout accident.
What? Just accidentally finding this shit on a torrent site?
I wasn't trying to say that, but okay, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, you mean the thing that you're trying to find words to avoid saying, but I'm gonna go and say it?
Oh, he throws me under the bus all the time. Might as well throw myself under the bus.
No, but like this over here, man. I feel like this game. Like when I watch that movie, I think of you guys playing this Civilization 6 or any kind of RTS where you guys are just fucking with each other and whatnot.
Man, don't fucking man. I still never give gossip for our last game. It was like 8 hours and it did nothing.
The best part was like, I won, Alan. What do you mean? I got a space victory. The fuck does that mean?
Yeah, what the fuck? Honestly, Ganja, what the fuck is that? That makes no goddamn sense.
All right, I'm gonna give you the true meaning behind it, but I swear to God, Alan gave me the best definition of it. He said basically, I threw a calculator and ran to the moon. And that's basically what fucking happens is you build a bunch of spaceship parts and you take your civilization to the other parts of space, so you don't have to deal with these problems on Earth anymore.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to win in Civ. You can just sit there and conquer the entire planet. You can sit there and get a religious victory, so your religion that you can create at some point goes everywhere and you essentially just control the entire place. Or a space victory basically means you leave the civilization and just leave the rest of the planet. And it's like, I was about to invade them. About to. I had 3 nukes on the ready. I had planes. I had a battleship. There's no way he's going to get it. The bitch ran away.
Yeah, I threw a calculator and ran.
Threw a calculator at me and ran to the moon. Like, what the hell? God, it's 8 hours we've been playing that campaign.
But the thing is, though, speaking of video games and whatnot, and us playing certain things, one thing I wish does have multiplayer so Ganja can continue to fucking haunt Alan so very much is Beware. Now, this game used to be called Driving Simulator or Driving Survival. That was what it was called.
Driving Miss Daisy, a movie game.
Yeah, basically. And the thing is, man, this game, I'm serious, man. This is some cool shit, you know, like to an extent. I'll explain why I don't think so much, but it's a cool concept. For one, apparently it's supposed to be taking place in the 1970s, and you're in a car. And I guess what they're trying to do is take that fear that you would have when you're like driving. I know you guys don't do this, but like some people drive when they're traveling instead of taking planes. And usually it's scary when it's in the dark and someone's behind you with their fucking headlights on. It's like, oh shit, are they looking at me? They're chasing me? What are they going to do? And you are left at the mercy of the vehicle behind you.
I got a question for you because I know you live out in Arizona and you probably have a lot of these roads out there that don't have any kind of like street lights. So it's just you and whatever car lights you got in the front and back of you. Have you ever done the drive from Vegas?
Actually, I have, believe it or not.
Have you ever done that shit at night, man? There is no lights whatsoever, and me and my family, we did that shit when there was no moon out, just dark.
No,
like
but
I had something similar. My the rural parts of my area where it's like, yeah, there's no lights at all.
Yeah, well, the thing is too is like it's scary as well because John, you probably know this too. There's an area where it's just a continual like that turn. I forgot what the word is for it, but you know what I mean.
It goes around like this.
Yeah.
No, what it is you're going down a mountain, so you're constantly going down, and you might have to make a quick right turn at one point, and they have like a really emergency.
But you don't know if there's any cars on the same road. By the time you know that there's another car on the road, you guys are already like about to hit each other. Like there's no way to know what's coming up, especially at night. So and it's almost to a point where because there's so much stuff on the edge of the road between like the edge and then falling down to your death, you won't even see lights from another vehicle. So if you get hit, you are guaranteed that you both are gonna die. It's really fucking creepy. And this doesn't do anything like that. This is more of just like a regular fucking, you know, like just being out there in the outskirts. But I mean, dude, for one, right away before we even continue on, and Julian saying this looks gorgeous. Like in your opinion, Alan, does this look gorgeous to you? I mean,
it is, but it's one of those things where I couldn't care less because it's like, yeah, it's a horror game, but it's all you're doing is fucking driving. It's like this is Desert Bus, but with like zombies. Like it's one of those things where it's like why I don't like Alien Isolation, where I'm like this is just woo, I'm scared, or Outlast, where it's like there's no combat system.
Yeah, like, well, this could be like because this is one of the things too where I'm like I'm actually wondering like are you chasing somebody now because. Or no, you're not. I can tell that they're wearing like strangers masks. Those guys from the Strangers movies. They're wearing those like.
Sure. What I think it is based off like I don't know if you guys remember this from like middle school and high school where you had to wear like during Halloween time your English teachers would make you read like scary books or have you do a presentation class or something that's horror driven, and they would do like these stories, these couples or this group of friends that go out on a fucking drive and they encounter like the semi-automatic
semi-automatic.
I meant to say the semi-truck.
What did you say?
I said the semi-automatic in reference to high school kids, man. but my original point, my original point, as I fight my fucked up laughter, is that usually have a haunted semi-truck or the Scooby guy with one hand that shows up when they do a conveniently part. Like, Brittany, I have to go piss. And he goes in the bush and he sees like Claw Dude that's coming after them and he chases them throughout the story. And I think that's what this is going to take a vein out of it. Is this going to be on VR?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say, this would be perfect for VR.
No, right. Man, it would be cool if it was, and I don't know if that's going to be the case because they're having trouble even making the game. Apparently, this was called something else before it was called Beware, and they had some issues trying to make the game. But yeah, I mean, like,
that's fucking terrifying.
No, thank you so much. Like, yeah, that's something I want to.
Yeah, but that's it though. Like,
we don't know if that's it. We didn't even know if that was. We didn't even know if that was there while reading this article. I mean, there's things I wasn't expecting from the game. I thought it was gonna be just headlights. Then I was like, oh, you get to see them. The car actually gets in front of you. Then I was like, oh, they get out of the car and run. I mean, like, I'm finding more stuff out about this. And like the thing is, I hate games that are like this. I hate like Five Nights at Freddy's, Slender Man, all that shit. I hate those games. And this is doing something where it's like it's getting that same crowd in, but then giving them just a little bit more. I mean, at least that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm being way too positive because I'm in a good fucking mood today.
Probably.
But I mean,
I just when I look at this, I just see this as a bunch of other like no combat survival games. And, like those get so boring so quick. Once you eventually stop getting scared of what's going on, you're just like, let me just get to the next objective. That's why the Slenderman game gets so boring unless you have a bunch of friends that you just fuck around with. But it's just like after a while, you're just like, yeah, I'm done with this like so fast.
Yeah, I mean, and for me too, thinking about this as well is like, I mean, for me, the thing is the pricing and the amount of time it's going to take for this to come out. Like, I feel like this might be something that might take too long, considering that right now there's a time where we're waiting for games like Resident Evil 2 to come out. We're waiting for fucking there's a bunch of games that are about to come out. I'm like,
of course,
trying to blame now, but you know what I mean. And it's just like, yeah, like, oh, Death Stranding, Silent Hill, what was that shit called?
Death Stranding ever fucking comes out.
Which I don't even know at this point, especially Norman Reed is getting new deals to do The Walking Dead and shit like that too. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but like, it's just at this point though, this looks cool. I mean, like this looks scary. It earns the jump scares. With the Resident Evil thing, with those tank controls, when you turn the corner and the dog comes out the fucking window, that obviously was a cheap ass jump scare because I am gonna jump because I'm gonna go, oh my god, dog through the fucking window. It's loud as shit. It was quiet. Now it's super loud and music's playing. It's fucking scary. This. Yeah. Like, it's not a jump scare. I can see them running towards the fucking car. I can see them coming at me, and it makes sense for them to come at me at this point because this is the whole purpose of the video game. This is the whole tone and thesis of it. So I'm like, yeah, with this happening, this is not even a jump scare. This is just fucking scary. You know what I mean? And I appreciate just being scared.
Especially if it's done within a VR world, because, man, I can honestly see like you trying to drive the controllers within a PlayStation VR and the helmet being a very important method and actually having you within a seated position be a part of the gameplay itself.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But one thing I want to talk about next, and I know I'm talking about a lot of video game stuff today because the high score is gone. Rest in peace. But we're talking about this particular thing. It's a game about a child of a Nazi. It's called My Child. Wait, what would you say?
I said Alan?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Fucking asshole.
Why?
By the way, it's funny too because this is Alan over here on the picture. He's just like, why can't they just leave me alone? No, but yeah, this is called My Child Lebensborn, and basically what this is about is, and this is from EA. I know EA is starting to win people over doing things like, hey, we're gonna put women in Battlefield 5, even though to some people apparently it's not fucking.
Which makes no sense because the last game had both a female and a black dude on the fucking cover. This was already done.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have the Battlefield 1 cover, but if you bought the Game of the Year edition, what they have is one of the DLCs. There's the Female Battalion of Death, which is for the Russian side. Mm-hmm. So they made the copy for the Game of the Year edition one of the female soldiers. Okay. So like, this has been done before. I don't know why this is controversy.
People are just nowadays people just want to be sensitive for no fucking reason. But I will say, like, EA is winning some people over in SNC. People might be complaining, oh, it's not historically accurate. But there's some people that are like, well, even if it's not historically accurate, we still got some things going on where it's like some people are realizing that we're doing something special for people, and we're gaining a we're going into the minds of people that might be into this that are not part of our particular audience that we always have. Right. Including this. This is a perspective. Oh, I pressed the wrong fucking button there. This is a perspective that we never get. The Nazi, And I do think that even though EA is doing something special with seeing the perspective of a woman, and that might be a little bit different for people, whatever. But to go as far as to see the perspective of someone who's connected with Nazis, I feel like now we're going too far. I don't want to see the perspective of the Nazi. I just don't, because it's like one of those things where. Maybe, I guess, can you consider this prejudice if I don't like fucking Nazis and don't care what they're thinking?
If anyone calls you prejudiced for that, you should punch him in the face.
Thank you. Know me personally. You know my opinions on this.
Yeah.
I'll say it straight up. If anyone gets mad at you for not liking Nazis, punch them in the face.
Yeah, but that's the thing that's crazy to me. And doing this, I'm like, I don't know if you guys are cool with this. I mean, it's already on Android, so it's not like, oh, well, let's see what happens.
Like, honestly, yeah, to a certain degree, it's like they're showcasing what it's one of those things where it seems like a fucking like random bullshit indie game with like very little to do, and it's like I don't know. I'd rather this in a real game. I'll say it straight up. This kind of idea where it's like, hey, you're basically almost like a Telltale kind of thing, but it's just some iOS bullshit, and that's more that bothers me than the actual premise of the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know, like, Ganja, you're a big historical person, and you don't really put up with any kind of, like, shitty bullshit from certain people, so.
Any fascist shenanigans? Yes, of course.
Yeah,
but, one of the things is, like, I kind of like the idea of this only because it seems like it's not coming from the Nazi perspective. You are playing a mother that fell in love with a Nazi soldier, and this is one thing that me and Jet had a very in-depth conversation, and it had something to do with, I forgot the movie, was it Elle? Where the director had a kind of a premise like this. Where someone that was an occupant or someone that was a member of a concentration camp fell in love with a Nazi soldier. And this was something that happened in a lot of occupied countries. Women did fall in love with the soldiers of the Nazi Germany, and they ended up having kids and children and whatnot. Because around the time, a lot of people, like Norway was one of those rare countries that kind of halfly supported the Germans. So they weren't seen as 100% occupiers at the time. But this is based off of the liberation already. So the child, your child is your daughter or your son is actually the child of a Nazi, but you yourself is not a Nazi. And this is you going through the days after the war, when your child has to go through school and everyone in the town knows your kid is a child of a Nazi, the people that invaded their homeland.
Yeah.
And one of those people. And I think that is a good idea because this is something that's not talked a lot with the children that were pretty much responsible either by rape or by situational marriages that were born during World War II. There was a whole point. There was a lot of that within Germany as well, with the Russians raping people on the East Coast. And I think that is something that should be touched upon. I don't trust EA with this. I trust more the studio that did Frostbite and This War Is Mine, because they tend to handle these things more respectfully and add gameplay aspects to it that make you feel like your decision's hurt and actually make a decision within the gameplay itself that either make you feel like an asshole or just like, I'm barely just being a good person and it's fucking up the whole situation. So I'm kind of interested in what they're going to do on this. The one thing I'm worried about is they're talking about this going to be about bullying, and I don't want this just be some basic ass don't support bullying BS with some like Nazi like imagery in the background, because that's not what this should be. This should be dark.
Well, no, it's becoming too much. Like, we're trying to be apologists for way too many fucking groups of people. Like, hey, like, we don't know where the Nazis coming from. We don't know what their kids coming from. We need to be nice to them, even though they're part of a system that is absolutely terrible. But the people too, man. It's like, no, man. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna see like the story behind like a rapist before he did the shit he did, or are we gonna see like some child murderer shit? Like, well, the children were bad to him first, or well, I don't know. It's weird. It's like I don't want to see any of this shit.
That's the one thing that's interesting about World War II is the fact where. World War II is one of those things that was 100% an international war, and the Nazi army sometimes wasn't compared. Like, if you're talking about 100% like a Nazi German soldier, then yeah, you're probably more than 100% right with your perception. But there was a lot of people that were Hungarian, Bulgarian, Czech, Austrian, other nationalities that joined the German army because they were forced to and they were conscripted because they were the easiest targets for a population grab by the Nazi army. So you had a lot of these people that were forced into the situation too. So not all Nazis at the time were hardcore fascists and fanatics, but you did have those guys within the range. So I'm seeing how they're going to handle that if your father was a hardcore fascist and how to deal with that and the situation of your mother having a child with that and how you as the mother or the father dealing with having a child that has to go with that situation and being dealt with by the community.
Yeah. So, like I said, man, I think you said perfect. I mean, there's really nothing for me to add on here other than the fact that, yeah, like for me, this is something that I don't mind playing. It's already out, by the way. If you guys want to play it, go ahead and play it. But it's one of those situations where, you know, yeah, I can't imagine a lot of marketing going into this. I can't imagine EA thinking they're going to make any money off of this. And I do feel like this is starting to trend because, like, dude, 2 weeks ago we had that shooting game about people in the high school shooting up the place.
Hey, which Steam took the fuck off Steam.
Yeah, which is fine that Steam did that, but this game does have, I mean, there are stories behind it. I mean, at Kotaku, Polygon, N4G, like all these places are discussing this game, and now the word got out, people are probably pirating this, or he's probably selling this for money somewhere else, whatever the fuck the case may be. But people do know about this, and now people are like, well, you know what? If he can do it, I can do it too. I want to be talked about. So let's all make fucked up games like this. And then Steam's going to be like, okay, well, no, let me just go ahead and ask somebody to say, you know what, hey, you know, tone down a couple of these fucking things, but yes, we'll make a game about school shooting. Yes, we'll make a game about Nazi kids that we're supposed to feel sorry for. Yes, we'll do this. And I'm just like, yeah, we're going in a direction that's going to be fucking terrible, and it's an empty market, and there is money to be made there, and we're about to get into some fucked up territory. I mean, I can imagine a year from now, we're going to get a shit ton of terrible games that might have their own rating system. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. It might be the case, though. It might be fucking terrible.
I think you're looking at this way too deeply. I don't think that anything's going to come from this, because it usually never does. It's just a fucking, like, hey, let's just do bullying from a different time period, and that's usually the end of the story. Because, like, when Hatred came out, there wasn't a bunch of Hatred clones.
I'm glad Gary brought that up. Gary, it's fantasy and it's a fucking game. God. But sometimes these people tend to take these games and expand it. Me, I'm not 100% Nick on this certain title. But for example, Skyrim, for some reason, not like actual neo-Nazis are using Nord's emblem and Nord's slang from Skyrim to just like, because like, apparently they're the closest to like, I guess, Nazis within the game for their ideology. So every time like you got a lot of these Nazis out there are cosplaying as Nord characters on the download.
Yeah. No,
man, I hate that fucking argument. Oh, it's fantasy, it's a game. Fuck you. Like what? Like that fucking argument of it's fantasy, it's a movie, it's a game is a stupid argument for anybody involved. Like, yeah. It's you're still trying to tell a story within real life. What if fucking Captain America shoots a child in the face? It's just a movie. It's like, no, you can get angry at the imagery they're showing because it's depicted to some degree real life, even if it's in a video game, even if it's in a movie. It's like, that's still a legitimate argument to sit there and get mad at something that's in a different media just because it's not real life. Like, I hate that argument so much.
Yeah, and like, you know, I mean, it gets down to some of my favorite, you know, games ever, GTA 5. It gets to a point where you start seeing certain things in the game, and I know people are like, it's a fantasy, it's a video game, don't think about too much about the torture scenes, about the prostitutes, whatever the fuck. But that implements shit into some people's heads and some kids' heads. And I'm sorry, but like, if I had a kid, I would not let him play GTA. Some people might say, well, dude, why don't you spend some time with your fucking kid and explain that this shit's just a game, etc. But maybe maybe there's a game that I don't know that has that shit in, you know, because some people are fucking busy and don't wrap their heads around fucking video games all day. If parents are not, you know, parents had to give the kids something that they're not going to be doing stuff with the kids for because parents had to do shit. And it comes down to like, yeah, man, I don't like shit like GTA showing drugs. I don't like Gal Gun where you're shooting girls in the panties and hopefully you get them to have orgasms, and they're all underage girls, by the way. Yeah, they look like underage girls. I mean, there might be some dialogue about on the screen. Oh, I'm 18 years old.
They're all 18.
Yeah, like, we're all 17.9.9.9.9.9. Like, it's like, no, motherfucker. Like, stop. And why, if they're 18, why do they look like they're fucking 13? You know, it's just, I can't stand this culture of video games. I really, really can't, dude. It's like, I literally have a prejudice against people who play these types of games. Ganja. So, yeah, fuck y'all. But anyways, moving on from this, time to get out of the fucking realm of video games, and time to talk about something else that I'm actually kind of happy to hear. Darlene might be getting her own spin-off, bruh. Yes.
I'm so happy for her because she was actually one of the best parts of the new show, and I think her idea of playing the single mother that's trying to find her life together, I think that would work within the show's context because she was kind of one of the hard-ass characters that you don't see what's going to turn her life into this, and I think it fits well with her kind of attitude, trying to blend in with the character, with a daughter that is almost somewhat similar to her. And I kind of hope she gets the show because from what I hear, she was like one of the biggest driving forces in getting Roseanne rebooted.
This is a terrible idea for everyone involved.
Wait,
this is going to be like Joey.
Dan to have his own show last week?
Hmm?
No, didn't you say you wanted Dan to have his own show last week? Is this?
I've never watched Roseanne. I have no opinion on this. All I can think of is Joey.
Oh. Joe.
Remember Friends? Remember Friends? Joey was the most popular, funny character, and they gave his own show, and it lasted for like 4 episodes.
Wait, they gave him his own show?
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah, it bombed as much as you think it did.
Oh, that's a terrible fucking idea.
So all I can think of with this is like, don't get your guys' hopes up too much.
Well, it's not official. I mean, it most likely won't be happening. But it's one of those things where I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of glad this might be happening too. I like that the conversation's open to it because it's something that nobody else thought was gonna happen. People are like, oh yeah, it might be Dan, it might be the Connors, it might be this, it might be that. You even said without Roseanne, which I fucking love the idea. Like, make the show without.
Still a
Roseanne.
great name without Roseanne.
Exactly, and plus it's a great concept in general. Like, even if without the racist tweets, it still would have been an okay idea. But now we're at a situation where I'm just like, with Darlene doing this, I mean, she's young enough where she can carry this show for many, many years, and with her weird ass kid, like and by the way, I know it's bad to say he's weird because he's wearing those clothes and he's acting fruity, but dude, people like. They explained to him 20 times, you're going to get bullied, you're going to get fucked with. And he's like, I don't care. I like these really tight-ass jeans all for my stuff.
Man, you're going to get bullied no matter fucking what. You might as well own it.
I know, but that's not a great example. Like, for me, I mean, I'm not saying a great example because the show's not trying to be a fucking example. Now I'm just kind of like going all over the place with this shit. But I feel like when it comes to something like this, I hate that this show says it's okay to prioritize the wrong fucking thing. The show's like, if you're different, prioritize being different. It's like, no, it's okay to be different, and it's okay to feel like you should be treated fairly no matter how different you are. But don't say that, if you're different, make sure to emphasize how fucking crazy, weird, and fucking uncomfortable you make people because you're different, so let's treat you better than fucking normal kids. Like, no. Like, if you wear weird shit to school, you're gonna get made fun of, and that's okay. You should get made fun of. I'm sorry. If it's fucking makes me laugh, I'm gonna go, haha. Like, sorry. I'm not saying pro-bullying, but I am saying, like, yeah, dude, like, this show...
You've said that before. Don't lie to me.
Well, I do think we need bullies in the world. I will say that. I do think that bullies are definitely, like, they're useful. But,
Lord.
Yeah, I mean, bullies are the reason why I am the way I am. If it wasn't for bullies, I'd be fucking like, oh my god, Beat Sports, guys!
Yeah, you'd be a happy person.
Yeah, but I would not be as far as where I am right now. I'd be like...
But he'd be disingenuous.
Yeah, I'd be disingenuous too, and that'd be so
you'd
lost.
You'd be having a happy, good life, It might actually have a happy feeling for once in his fucking life, as opposed to being the cynical asshole you are now.
Yeah, but
no, you bite his ass.
By the way, too, Jess says, unless a whole family of Nazis dies, I hope this game bombs. Oh, someone just replied to it. Patrick. But yeah.
Yeah, you get used to it, not Jet, Patrick.
Yeah, I know Patrick's just like, oh, she's fucked up, man. It's terrible. But yeah, man, like, I don't know what to really even say to the point of, like, yeah, I do think that Darlene can have a great show. Ganja, do you agree with this? Aside from her being gorgeous and the whole fucking thing.
Well, yeah, she's still kind of cute to me. But yeah, I think like it's got a chance, honestly, because I really feel bad for the whole cast. Because throughout the episode, everyone was pretty much on fire. It was really hitting their marks. So to see the whole cast have to pay for one fucking dumbass that happens to be the main character, it kind of sucks. And I really wish to see them continue on. And I think the storylines and just what they were doing, especially with Dan's character, was real well within the time period. I think they could easily drop Roseanne. But more likely they're not going to do it because, you got a lot of people now on one side that want the show dead because of politics. And you have other people on the show that wants to revive because of politics. And most people are not going to pick that up.
Exactly. Now moving on to the latest thing we need to discuss, and this is where I'm going to get mad. Black Panther wins Best Trailer, Golden Trailer.
Why?
Ooh. Why? This is bad. This is very bad.
like, not even that it's a terrible trailer. It's just an all-right trailer.
No, it's bad. It's a bad trailer. I'm sorry.
Whatever. I don't see it much different than any of the other superhero movies. It's like, it's an all-right trailer. Like, I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just in the middle. Like, the first Infinity War trailer I say is better, but even then it's just that coattails off the fact that it's a sequel to it's a 19 sequel or 20 sequel to a movie. So it's like, I really don't see a lot of... I can think of a single trailer I've seen in the last couple of years, except for The Accountant. That's probably the only trailer I can think of that's a good trailer that made me want to see it. Yeah. The rest of them have just been all right.
Yeah, but the thing that like drives me up the fucking wall with this is the fact that there's been so many other trailers, and I do think that people are just making a big deal of this because the movie was good. Like, look, I can take my opinion away from the fact that, like, yeah, this wasn't, it wasn't as bad as what I think it is. I just hate it extra because I don't like the fucking song. I don't like Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar literally was trying to sound like a fucking cat during that song. He's like, we're going on now. We're going now. Meow. And it was like, he kept doing that shit throughout the whole fucking trailer. And I'm like, are you meowing because it's Black Panther? Like, quotes Panther? Like, is that what the joke is or something? Like, I don't know what the fuck it is. And then you got fucking Panther flying in the air, rolling around, and oh god, like I hate that trailer so much. But the thing is, the movie was great. I think that people have taken it so far as to say, okay, well, this movie was so good, so that means the trailer was good because of it. And that's the same thing that happened with Get Out. Dude, everybody laughed at Get Out. When that trailer came out, we thought it was going to be some free brick and seltzer shit or something. Like, it looked fucking silly. And then all of a sudden the movie's good, and it's like, man, that trailer's so good, that movie's so great, and how dare you call this a comedy? Did you not forget you laughing at this fucking trailer? Like, no, it's bullshit. And I like, for me, it gets on my fucking nerves because I think that there is some kind of, I don't know, like, people are overcompensating for the film or whatever the fuck. I don't know. I feel different about it. But I mean, Ganja, do you see where I'm coming from with that sense?
Or... No, I thought it was a pretty much generic film when it comes, not generic film, but a generic trailer when it comes to things. Like, honestly, it made me less excited for the film because of that. I thought it was going to be something like either Ant-Man, either was going to be basic or really good, but or not basic or really good, or basic or really on like rentals phase. But I was actually blown away when I saw it because the trailers were so meh. But now seeing it as being rewarded for its trailer, I think that's awesome. People just rewarded for the hype that it received over the past.
It is. It's a cultural phenomenon, and that's the only reason it's getting whatever praise it needs to. So it's really kind of annoying. It's like, but then again, there's not a single trailer that came out this year that I'm like, yo, this is a good trailer. All of them suck. Nothing. I hate trailers. I used to love trailers as a kid. I used to love going to the movies because I'm like, I can't wait to see the previews. I can't wait to see the trailers. But nowadays, it's like, I have to actively avoid the trailers for every fucking thing I want to watch.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, I don't know, man. For me, personally, there's a lot of trailers that came out this year that I liked. I mean, there's even one from fucking Justice League that was pretty cool. But I was going to ask you guys, I mean, guys, Alan already told me his answer. But if you can think of some that, I mean, maybe just give me some that you think is good for the last 10 years, if you can't find any. But, Ganja, what are some trailers that you think should have won this award?
Honestly, that's a hard part because all the trailers this year was pretty generic, or they damn near like kind of spoiled the movie in a sense that didn't really have me hype. I think the closest trailer that had me hype was Infinity Wars and possibly Last Jedi, but you know that movie became a disappointment. Yeah. But besides that, I honestly didn't. This year was kind of hard. There was no real trailer. I was like, "Yo, man, that shit blew my mind. Were you ready for that film?" And when it came out, that shit was great, bro.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking, like, okay, Avengers, obviously, that's one that we all fucking like.
Honestly, I haven't had a hype trailer since fucking Dead Island.
Oh, what, the game?
Damn, yeah. That is an old one for your ass. That trailer, I'm sorry, that trailer is overrated. It's all right.
Hey, for all the video games that were coming out that were first-person shooters at the time, like that was something different.
That was even a first-person trailer.
I know, but that felt like something different.
No, it's just a fucking man. That game is trash. Holy shit! But the fucking trailer,
it's not. You take that shit back.
That game is fucking garbage. I'm sorry. The design choice of having the fucking enemies level up with you is the dumbest thing to do in a fucking RPG.
Oh yeah, no, like balance the fucking game. Yeah, that's.
It's not balancing the game. It means that the fucking difficulty stays identical from start to fucking finish. Which means it doesn't matter how long you play the game. You play for 1 hour, you play for 8 hours. All the enemies have the same amount of hits, and all the enemies do the same amount of damage. That's some fucking bullshit.
No, the reason why, Alan, is because when you play with somebody else online who's hosting the particular server, that particular person, the zombies are his, ability or his level. So let's just say I join my friend who's like level 5 and I'm level 15. I get to beat the fuck out of his enemies to help him out.
Yeah, but that game, even though it has aspects of it that can be multiplayer, you could easily play that game entirely single player because it is for the most part a single player game. So it still goes against the entire fucking thing. Games like Borderlands did it where it's like you can have multiple people in your game and balance it around it, but that's beyond the point.
Yeah, well, shit. I mean, I don't know. I completely disagree with you with Dead Island. Maybe one of these days we'll review it together. Maybe we should play it again together, and let me see if I can change your mind on this. Oh, don't you nod your head. You know you're going to love this shit.
The developers went and made a better game called Dying Light.
Oh, and that game was fucking garbage as shit.
That game is great. You like that game. Don't fucking tell me otherwise. No, I do not like
that game. That game is fucking
hard. What are you talking about? We have proof of it. You reviewed it on PixelPix last year.
I was drunk.
We have it on film. I saved it.
Fucking Gotcha's face. Someone better meme that shit.
I just love that you got caught like that.
No, because what I said was I like the game a lot better. I didn't say I like the fucking game, Alan. I never said that shit.
Oh my fucking god!
I never said
you call me king of semantics. Jesus Christ!
Oh, that's a pretty big fucking.
I like the game better, but I don't like it. Fuck you.
Fucking God, just cracking me up. I'm trying to fucking argue and be serious. This fucking guy is making all these faces.
Stop lying about your positions.
I would have making these faces if you weren't lying, you motherfucker.
Man, fuck you, dude. Man. I swear to God, one of these days, man. You son of a bitch. But no, man. I'm trying to think of other trailers that came out this year. Hereditary was good. I mean, granted, it didn't come out this year though. But Hereditary was a great fucking trailer. And didn't Mother was last year?
Mother was a shit trailer. Don't fucking tell me that, man.
You.
It was just a bunch of fucking crazy people on fucking violins and a bunch of random images, and then the trailer ends.
No, this trailer got me goosebumps.
Mother's a piece of. That trailer was one of the reasons I didn't want to watch this movie, because fucking when we were in Austin, we got and they were talking about this trailer. Martin just said it took the words out of mouth, going, yeah, it's just a bunch of random images, so that people go, I wonder what that movie's about, and then watch it to make sense of all that shit.
I'm sorry, but the violins,
yeah, it's just a bunch of violins.
That's
I expected the cut to the Foley artist. Man, so what? It's violins. That should not be the reason you fucking enjoy the trailer.
Man, I'm sorry, but it was amazing.
You know what? Okay, Julian. Again, I can't believe I forgot this already, but Julian, to the point. Mission Impossible's Fallout trailer got me so excited to see that movie. Just the music, the tempo, the way they edited it in, and they still showed you stuff but still hid stuff away. That's actually a good trailer.
Okay. I mean, at least you said something positive. I mean, and this trailer was okay. I mean, it's fucking Mission Impossible, so it's
man, I love that thing where they throw the dude through the fucking mirror or some shit. Cause I'm like, how are you in a kung fu fight and then some guy just cartwheels through a mirror?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just every time I see Mission Impossible, I'm like, okay, same old shit, like every fucking thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, so I mean, it is what it is. But like horror movies, I feel like have the best trailers. I think that every time I see a horror movie trailer to anything, it's fucking amazing. You know, I actually.
I wonder why.
Yeah, sorry. No, but Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. I'm sorry, but that's a bad.
The trailer is trash. All of them are trash.
How?
What do you mean how?
It's dinosaurs.
Oh my fucking god.
It's fucking dinosaurs.
No, hey, folks out there, how to make a trailer like get some violins, make it a horror movie, and put dinosaurs in it. I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, of course I would, because that's fucking amazing stuff. You get fucking Chris Pratt running around. He's usually the fucking comedy guy. He's running away from fucking dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are like, yeah, I'm gonna kill your ass. Fucking T-Rex is running around. There's a bunch of explosions. Michael Bay. He's not on this movie though. It's Colin Trevorrow.
Are you sure?
No, he's not in this movie. But I mean, there's explosions though. It's great.
Lord, fuck that. Man, that movie's gonna be garbage. I'm calling this right now. Nick's gonna hate that fucking movie.
No, I'm not gonna hate that movie because there's not one Jurassic Park movie that's absolutely terrible. I love Jurassic World. That's my favorite.
Okay, never mind. It's gonna be like Jurassic World then. I can't remember if you hated or liked Jurassic World.
That third one is terrible.
Was Jurassic Park 3? That one was okay. Like it wasn't terrible, but like. You just hate it, Alan, because it's like Alan.
No, I'm just finally glad that God's just arguing some shit now instead of watching in the background.
Oh no, I was just lurking, waiting, seeing when y'all fuck up and.
Wait, I'm gonna say Jurassic Park 3 was good.
Yeah, pretty much. That's shenanigans.
No, Jurassic Park 3 was okay. It wasn't fucking terrible, but it wasn't great. Whatever the fuck.
The real question is here, Nick, because we both are fans of Jurassic Park series. Which one is more terrible, Lost World or 3?
2 is worse.
I give 2 so much credit because it gives a lot more dinos than the third one. The third one, it feels like it's just retracing the steps and selling toys to me.
The thing is, I rewatched the second one way more than I watched the third one because the third one, I don't like the characters. I think Sam Neill's a dick the whole way through, and then the other characters are just so. Honestly, I hate to say it as y'all, but like they're overly white. You know, it's like, oh my god, where is he? David,
transparent, so white.
Yeah, it's too much for me. The opacity is like at 10. They just blend in. But the thing is, with Jurassic World or Jurassic Park 2: The Lost World, I mean, you get T-Rex running into the fucking city, just like Godzilla almost. They even make fun of Godzilla. Yeah, that's class.
They make fun of Blockbuster with having some dude spray his blood all over the front of it.
Exactly.
Wait, was that Blockbuster? Was that in that movie or was that in Godzilla?
No, it was in Jurassic Park: The Lost World.
One of my favorite things is when you watch that movie, if you have it on DVD or VHS, they have the background where they show the gas prices when the dinosaur runs by.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And it's like 0.42 cents, 0.35 cents, 0.45 cents. And I remember I was watching on TV with my parents, and that's one of our favorite like little things to laugh at. And I don't know why, but TBS blurred it out.
Oh, for real?
Like, hey,
they don't want people to remember the fucking prices back in the day.
That's really weird, actually.
It was like, hey guys, don't remember back when gas was cheap.
And by the way, too, Julian brought this up. This was a great trailer. And I don't know if it was 2017 or 2015 or what, but down to this was great. I'm sorry, but I love this trailer.
This is like with Dead Rising off the record and Dead Rising 4. I hate like I have issues with zombies, but for the most part, I play a lot of zombie games. I hate jokey zombies. I think jokey zombies is the worst fucking genre in the world.
I think Dead Rising blended it well until the fourth one.
Yeah, and this is not even jokey. This just becomes scary.
It is jokey. Like... The fucking music and him turning into a zombie, that's jokey zombie. Especially the guy hits him with a car and then, oh boy, new shoes. That's jokey zombie shit.
I guess. I don't know. One trailer, speaking of zombies, man, I like how zombies taking over this whole fucking thing. Walking Dead Overkill. I don't like that there's no gameplay. I mean, that drives me up the fucking wall.
This is gonna be a Telltale game.
I hope not, man. But like, you got wannabe Robert Englund right here. You know, it's about to be fucking Freddy Krueger per 6. But he's over here, and I mean, I guess that's joking in a sense too. But like, there's another one where this dude's like walking around, and he has a bat, and he just kills one fucking zombie, and it's like really emotional, and I love that shit. Death Stranding, dude, that was a 14-minute long trailer.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna get that game because I love Kojima, but those fucking god awful things are.
Days Gone. Their trailer where they show the guy chasing the one dude down, and all the zombies.
That trailer, that was gameplay.
That was a trailer. Like, that wasn't actual gameplay. Now you got more gameplay that rolls around it, but that was more of a set piece that they designed for E3.
If we're talking about a video game trailer, one of my favorite of all time is Assassin's Creed Revelations, because it's basically kind of this live action CG blend. And then they picked a great song for it, and they're actually able to basically make like this cool like thing that it played as a prequel to the game, the trailer. So it's like as you're doing that, he's doing this cool fucking choreographed fight. And it basically plays as a prequel to the game. So when you start the game off, you actually start right after the trailer. Okay. So it's like the trailer's almost the start of the game, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, man. So, but like I said, I mean, all this shit's good. By the way, Last of Us 2, did that come out last year? The trailer?
Well, the trailer, yeah, I think it was E3 last year, yeah.
Okay, people, and I'm going to play this. You guys won't be able to hear it in here, but I got to show the PlayStation Experience trailer. Because that shit with the music playing, the reveal trailer, this was, it's 2016, so I'm late.
Well, it's been a while, yeah.
But that song being played, that shit, I mean, I rarely say this shit, but it was beautiful. I mean, it was amazing. Let me show this fucking thing over here. The one thing is, too, I don't like the fact that this kind of spoils the first one. Then again, you know, I guess you can't do that when it's called Part 2. But yeah, this is shit. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Could you guys?
I'm just assuming the sounds of just nerds jizzing in their
Oh god, they would not shut up about it. Holy shit! I honestly,
okay, you guys are cynical as fuck, man.
No, because the thing is, I played The Last of Us like not say recently, but I played The Last of Us. Yes, it is a very good game. The overhyped. It's one of those things where I avoided playing the game for so long because people would not shut the fuck up about it. It was on every news station. It was on every GameStop TV. It was everywhere. And it was like every 2 seconds I'm hearing The Last of Us. I'm like, holy fucking shit, I don't care. Shut the fuck up. And then I played it. I'm like, yes, this is a really good game. If I would give it out of 10, it's definitely a 7 or 8 out of 10. But it's stop fucking yelling every 2 seconds about The Last of Us. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm sorry. God damn, man. People right here, Fun Police. Like, what the fuck?
Have you played The Last of Us?
Yes. And
have you?
Yes, and it is overhyped a little bit. It is a little bit overhyped, but
really overhyped. I don't think anything about bad about the game, but it's overhyped.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. But I mean, like I'm sorry, but it's gonna happen again. By the way, when this movie comes out, or when this game comes out.
Oh yeah, I know that. Like even God of War, and I think God of War's okay, someone's gonna shoot me for this. But I think God of War does The Last of Us better, and that wasn't even as overhyped. Like God of War, it was hyper, you know, as well. It's like, but by now the hype died down. Last of Us, no one shut up about that. No one shut up about that for fucking months. Like it, but I think God of War does the Last of Us formula much better.
You know, I gotta tell you really quick. Now people are gonna get on me. So you know what? You had your time to be the guy who everyone hates. I'll be the heel this time. People, God of War is not that great. I'm sorry.
Have you played it?
I have not, but here's the thing. I sat there with Corey Coleman doing Twitch for hours upon hours. We did 4 episodes playing this fucking game. Probably going to do more next week. In total, I've seen that dude play 8 to 10 hours worth of this fucking game. On top of seeing Goodwin play on the high score, etc. This is the most linear God of War ever fucking made. It's insanely linear. To the point where I don't think you have even one option of anything else to do.
You do, actually. Hundreds of options. You can easily, at some points, the characters again go, hey, we can go here, or maybe we can explore a little bit. There are side quests you can do. There are different enemies you can fight. There are different places you can explore. There are even portions of the game in the Bifrost. What?
You can't choose to avoid them. You have to fight them.
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of side quests in this game. Dude, I never did a single side quest in the game. I had a bunch of them. I never did. Because I was just focused on the main story because I was enjoying the fuck out of it. And it's like, it's linear in the same sense as the Tomb Raider games are linear, where it's like, you have a linear path and there is a linear story, but you can basically kind of walk around. It's like, it's not, because God of War, the one was linear. It's like, levels would end and you would start off in different places. With this, it's like, it's like a lot, it's so big that you can take your time before continuing on to the next portion of the game. There are puzzles. I never got a single health upgrade because I was busy focusing on the main path, but there are little portions, if you just go out of your way, you can get health upgrades to make your game a little easier. That game just looks linear because someone probably just played it for the story, but there's a lot of extra stuff that you never have to go across.
Okay, well, shit. I mean, like, for me, it's one of the situations where when I watch the gameplay, and maybe it's because of the way Coleman was playing it, but it's like, as I was looking around, dude.
Of course.
Well, no, but the thing is like, you can tell when there's a difference because it's like, everything's in corridors. Like, he's trying to, like, walk past it. I'm like, oh, what's that? He can't get up there. It's an invisible fucking wall. Then he's like, okay, you know what? I see an enemy over here. Let me go this way. But the game is trying to make you kill him a certain way. So as he's trying to throw his fucking thing at him, his axe, or he's trying to, like, go up to him from behind, he can't do it because another invisible fucking wall. And it's like, for a game that everyone was all hyped about, and even we were hyped about. I was like, dude, Coleman, this looks fucking great, man. This looks badass, blah, blah, the whole thing. As we are talking about the game and trying to figure out what to do next, we start realizing, wait, damn, this has less fucking mobility than a Fallout game. Like, this has nothing.
It has a lot less mobility, but honestly, it's one of those things, and I'm sure Corey will hate me for this one day. I just don't think he really knows what he's doing with that game.
Oh, he does.
That I think that playing it on a stream or playing it the first time, like on a stream, you don't have a chance to sit there because it took me a while. I'll say this: the combat is really stiff at first, but it's like basically if you played a Dark Souls game, you've kind of played a lot of the combat with this. It's very very stiff, but as soon as you get used to it, I'd say like by like hour 3 or 4, you're like I find like it clicks with you. You're like, oh, I get it now, and you're going through enemies like no tomorrow. It's just one of those things where you can't sit there and watch this kind of game. You have to actually play before. You're like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Okay.
Like if you ever play God of War, you'll change your opinion.
And I'll never review a game that I haven't played, but it's like as far as what I can see, I'm like, wow, this is. I literally was like going to buy it. I was like, dude, I love this game. It's cool. And after like the 3rd hour watching Coleman play, I was like, you know what? I'm so not buying this fucking game. Like, holy shit, I'm not buying this game. Not even for $20 am I buying this fucking thing. So it is what it is. But I mean, you know, and maybe it's like that because I just got done playing Far Cry before. I've been playing Ark so much, and then I was playing Monster Hunter, and it's like these games are actually really open, and you get to do everything.
It's closer to Monster Hunter.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like. You know. But still, it's like if it's close to Monster Hunter, how about I just get Monster Hunter? Nothing's closer to Monster Hunter.
Well, okay, I said it's closer to Monster Hunter. I'm not saying it's a Monster Hunter clone. I'm saying if you want a game to compare it to.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I mean, it's what it is. But aside from that, I know we just got into a whole video game talk. And by the way, too, if we get onto tangents about video games, it's because we love video games so much. And then on top of that, too, there ain't no video game show for Double Toasted. So it's like, fuck it, let's just go on out and talk about some video games. So with that said, though, it's time to go into some movies. It's time for that Flex and Chill, son. And I forgot to pull up the fucking video for Flex and Chill, so I'm just gonna switch my little.
You forgot to pull it up, but have we got this man's shirt on? That's the
of course I do. I always got my shirt on, man.
Oh, there it is. Nice. Flex and Chill. Now, if you guys have any movies you guys would like to discuss to come to the show and talk about, including the after hours stuff, get your ass in here. I just gave Julian a link so he can join us for something.
So he can yell at me for Annihilation. Okay.
Yeah, that too, most likely. But speaking of Annihilation, I'm going to go ahead and have you talk about that pretty much right away, sir. I mean, what do you think about Annihilation? Because people were talking about that a lot when it first came out.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I saw it. I'm like, oh, Natalie Portman's in a movie. I'm gonna avoid that like the plague.
God damn.
And then I heard the Double Toasted review, and I'm like, oh, the same guy that made Ex Machina. This movie, you know, it wants to be really smart. I'm like, and it's kind of a sci-fi movie. I'm like, you know what? Sure. You know what? The DT guys seem to like it. People were raving about it all over the place. I'm like, it's on Netflix, I think. So let me just check it the fuck out. And I was kind of bored at first, but I'm like, okay, you know what? This movie's trying to do that. It's very slow. So I'm like, pay attention to the dialogue. I'm liking what's going on. Everything feels kind of real with the characters. And then they get to the fucking shimmer. And then the movie assumes that I'm too stupid to understand what it's talking about, so it just sits there and tries to pretend to be smart. And I don't really necessarily want to spoil this movie because it's really hard to spoil this movie, but there's a line of fuck it, I'm going to. Spoiler tag on this. if you've not seen Annihilation, I'm gonna quote unquote spoil the fucking whatever the fuck the shimmer is. So basically, what the premise of this movie is, there's this weird bubble thing that's just spreading. So for some fucking reason, which never gets explained in the movie, one of the women calls up Natalie Portman to be like, "Yo, go in there with a bunch of our other people to figure out what the fuck's going on." So just go in there. And as soon as they go in there, it's weird Technicolor. Everything is kind of like, there's all chromatic aberrations. There's rainbows everywhere. All sorts of weird animals and shit. And they go around and they're doing all sorts of stuff trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And somebody gets attacked by a crocodile, but they're able to stop it and shoot it. And they look and it's like 2 sets of fucking like teeth and shit like that. They're like, what the hell's that? And then they go through all this other stuff. And then they see these weird plant people or people made of plants or some shit. And at one point, one guy goes, "Oh, I think I figured it out. It's like, you know how light gets refracted and you get a rainbow? Well, maybe they're refracting the DNA." And they go, "What the fuck does that mean?" And they're like, "Well, refracting DNA, now everything's changing to whatever it wants to be." I'm like, you just use a bunch of sentences to explain some other bullshit and hope nobody questions it. Apparently, all the stupid shit that happens in here, the weird 2 sets of teeth, the people going crazy because that's what ends up happening, the people just dying, all the weird lights, all the weird animals, all the weird mutations, is because the diffraction of DNA, which makes no fucking sense, even if you're a scientist. That is just a stupid fucking line of dialogue.
Well, Julian's in here, and he's been flipping.
Yeah, because he's freaking out because the sound design is so great in this fucking movie.
No, who the fuck? Freaking out, man. It's fucking stupid hearing you talk about the fucking science fiction film is not realistic enough for me. Yada yada yada.
Trying to be a fucking smart. This isn't fucking Star Wars where they can get away without explaining shit. This is supposed to be a fucking down-to-earth, smart science fiction movie, which pretends that the fucking audience is stupid and not going to question. The diffraction of DNA makes no goddamn sense. It would not explain anything that's going on here. Mutations in DNA happen because of breakage, not because of diffraction. Diffraction is separation based on light. They just started making stuff up. No. When you watch other stuff like when you watch other science fiction movies, when you play Mass Effect, they get all their fucking science right. They're dealing with space aliens. They're dealing with all sorts of crazy stuff, and they get 100% of their science correct. So you cannot tell me that science fiction cannot be accurate.
Well, I mean, I think the movie sounds really good.
It's honestly a really great movie.
It's a boring fucking. It's honestly boring. As it gets through and they get to the fucking lighthouse.
It doesn't spend any time like just fucking around. There's one line.
All of its time fucking around.
The whole movie is like this bizarre acid trip, and it also does something that Hollywood's been trying to do the last couple of years, and it does it in spades without even trying, with having a bunch of female characters without beating us over the head with it. And I think
but it never gets explained why it's all female. They just got a bunch of people together.
It's a coincidence, and it doesn't fucking matter.
But it's strange where it's like, I'm not saying that it needed to, but it's strange where it's like an entire female cast, and it's like, that's just there for a reason. It's essentially a suicide mission. But the movie itself, it's just painfully drags on for the entire runtime. And then you get to the end where you think some sort of explanation, and then it just ends like Lucy 2, where it's just some weird acid vision trip, and then she fights her clone from Smash Bros, and then the movie ends. The movie doesn't have an ending.
No, wait.
Just end.
There is a reason, though, that they're sending only women. So, yeah, never mind. I give those points back to the movie. Yeah, Annihilation.
There's no reason. It never gets explained. They just send them in because it's a... What's up?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, what is the reason if you're able to say it?
Like, why I think it's so brilliant?
Or no, why the reason for it all being female? Because I think isn't there a storyline reason as to why they're all female?
Yeah, it discusses it in the very beginning. They say that they've sent in a bunch of groups, and they're like, all right, maybe we should start thinking about this. And then they say they've only sent in men, but they realize that they never sent in women, so they want to see if it'll be something else. And because, they're scientists, they want to try a new experiment. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're scientists that fail at a lot of their science.
But see, you say that, but then we get down to like shit like the paradox or Cloverfield paradox.
Cloverfield paradox, which again forgets a lot of its thing about halfway through the fucking movie. Yeah, like this does.
But you say that, but then like we watched Prometheus and Alien Covenant,
which forgets its science halfway through the fucking
those. You hated those, and you hated this, as opposed to the shit that you do like, which are not like, but you are okay.
Well, like I said, Mass Effect, 100% of its science. 100% correct. There's not a single thing in there that you could say is not accurate. The entire premise of that game revolves around an element they created, but outside of the element they created, everything else stems from that and makes perfect fucking sense.
Okay, 100%. Alan, but I raised you one point. Who fucking cares? There's a line
what
of
do you mean
dialogue.
It's a science movie?
Listen, because, man, there's a line of dialogue, man, that, like, it explains it enough
it's a
that the plot
line
can
of
move
dialogue.
forward.
It doesn't explain it.
and we can keep learning about the characters, which at the end of the day is
which you don't ever get a fucking sense of the characters. You get one woman that's crazy. You get Natalie Portman, who's just there for fuck's sake. You get a bunch of other people that are just there for the hell of it.
You're wrong. I saw the movie twice. The first time I saw it, I missed the first 20 minutes, and I thought that Natalie Portman was just a random pick, but since we're in spoilers, it's not random. They go back to something that happened in the very beginning. Like, that's why Natalie Portman's character gets sent out. There's a reason for it.
No, she's only there to figure out what happened to her husband. That's it. That's the only fucking thing she's in there. Only fucking thing. But outside of that, what I'm saying is, outside of that, it's like every single character in here has one line of dialogue, and they just walk through the movie. It's like the first half of Lord of the Rings. All they're doing is walking right to the fucking end. So when I say there's no fucking reason for them being there, it's not a compelling enough reason to continue this fucking movie. Besides, hey, people are just here for whatever.
Alan, can I ask you one question?
No.
Okay, no, just one really quick question. Just really, it's a test. John Wick. Is there a reason for Keanu Reeves to go after those guys?
Yeah, I explained that to you in the fucking fucking arc thing.
And the reason is why.
Okay, that. Like I explained, that genre there is straight action.
God damn it! No, fuck you! You're changing
what are you talking about? I'm explaining this science fiction genre.
Man, you're Donald Trump in the fuck out of that question.
Man, you guys have not seen the fucking movie. You've not seen this boring shit. You're sitting here telling me, trying to compare it to a completely different genre of movies, and not explaining how this movie is fucking boring and nothing happens through the entirety of the runtime until the end. Fuck all of y'all.
I'm sorry, man, but
every fucking character in this movie is one note. They just go on just to get killed up by a random fucking bullshit. The Shimmer is just fucking acid trip the fucking movie and never gets explained of why it comes here, why it's there, why it does anything. The fucking end of it is just a stupid fucking fight, and the movie just ends. There's no real ending. Julian only likes it because of the sound design and because he's high. Fucking trash! I'm sick of movies pretending to be smart.
I'm sick of movies I gotta look at and hear. This is an abomination.
Yeah, there's more to a movie like that, like actual good writing and good plot and good development of the characters.
There's
zero development of any of the characters in this movie.
Dude, the story comes across through the sound and the fucking visuals.
Oh my, the story, we just gotta figure out what the fuck this is and we never figure it out.
Alan, I think this movie might have been too complicated for you.
Fuck you! You fucking look too deep into everything. You think everything is a fucking deep pool of whatever.
This is a movie about fucking tripping and maybe talking to God or some shit. I don't know, man.
Oh my god, you're so goddamn high. Holy shit. You're looking too deep into this fucking movie. Too deep into this movie.
Even what I saw, man.
What drugs were you taking watching this movie?
I drank a little bit before I saw it.
Yeah,
maybe I did what Ganja's doing right now. But I saw it
There's
twice,
nothing
man,
in this fucking movie. Nothing.
I disagree, man. There are times when the fucking images and the fucking sounds come together to create something beautiful.
God, you're
like going like, oh my god, that's pretentious.
Then go stare at a fucking...
What this trailer's based on.
Man, okay. There's more to, like, this is gonna sound weird, like, there's more to the movie than the fucking sound design and how it connects to the visuals. There's actual what's going on with the characters and the plot, which this movie has very little. Just go figure out the fuck's going on. Oh, we never figured it out, it's over? Okay, that's it.
I love this
There's
shit.
nothing else in this movie.
I know this is better than the fucking movie right now. But I will say...
Yeah, it is, because there's actually something happening.
Okay, I'll tell you this much, really quick. Because I was deciphering this entire thing, like, mathematically, as you guys were arguing and whatnot. And I will say, I think I know the reason why Alan doesn't like it. Is that it was all women.
Oh, don't you dare! Don't you goddamn dare! Don't you dare! Because for the most part, Natalie Portman was not the worst part of this movie. She was one of the best parts because she's one of the few people in this that actually, speaks for more than 5 fucking seconds.
Man.
This is probably one of the only Natalie Portman performances I actually enjoy because everybody else has 1 or 2 dialogues and they either gets killed off or just walks off screen, never to be seen again.
And this is where I totally disagree. I think that the characters do have minimal dialogue, but every time they speak, you learn something about
it. It's
them.
just what's the fucking word? It's just exposition. Every time they speak, it's just exposition.
I mean, that's what you could say about any line. It's exposition about that character, though, and it's smart.
No, it's not though. That's a problem. There's no exposition to the character.
Okay,
you learn nothing about any of these characters that you didn't learn before walking in.
Yo, seeing the suicidal character go from transitioning, like what she did, to go to like being a plant person to just like disappearing. The way that that's edited, the way that that's told. That was beautiful,
man. I'm sorry, bro. You're looking way too deep into that because that was literally like her explaining the stupid line of dialogue and just like, I will now be a plant person.
Or maybe
that's the entire fucking scene.
Yo,
Maybe
they
Alan,
show the characters' wrists like with cut marks on them. Like they do a lot of smart storytelling through the visuals, man. Not
they
everything
show
needs
how
to
the
be
plant
like,
people become
let me
plant people.
explain.
Yeah, no, I see what you guys are coming from though, but I will say it's kind of against the reins and everything too, just because you know, you guys are not gonna agree with each other. Now I'm gonna let Julian go first because he is more positive of this movie. What would you give this movie, man?
I don't know. Like when I saw it, I gave it like a 4 out of 5. But the more I think about it, I think it's more like a 4.5 out of 5. So I would say like I'm definitely gonna pick up a copy. So I'll give it a buy it.
A buy it. Okay, awesome. And you, Alan?
Like again, obviously I'm gonna give it a fucking because nothing bothers me more than a movie that pretends to be smart, but it actually isn't. There is nothing in this movie for anybody. This is honestly 100% to avoid it. Like, it's only making me mad because somehow Julian thinks there's something to it, and I don't know how the fuck you're seeing any of this. Honestly, go ahead and watch it. There's literally nothing in this fucking movie for you. The ending is just the ending of Lucy, except a little bit more serious. It never explains what's going on. It never explains what the fuck any of this has to do with anything, and it just ends as ends. This is honestly like a complete colossal waste of your fucking time. It's like 2 hours plus, and nothing gets explained.
Well, goddamn.
Disagree. It reminded me a lot of The Thing. That's one thing I wanted to say, but that's about it.
Yeah. And by the way, what would you give again? I'm sorry.
Oh, avoid it.
Avoid it. Okay, avoid it. Now, one thing that... go ahead.
I was just gonna say something like Mother that physically made me like want to fight somebody.
Now, one thing that people want to avoid big time, because that was a fucking joke I was going for, people. You guys avoided finishing fucking Snitch. I gotta tell you, you guys are assholes. Snitch is a great film. I love this fucking movie. John Bernthal, The Rock, doing the thing, fucking action-packed shit. Now, I know you're gonna say it's not action-packed because you know it was boring what we watched. That's why you had to watch the whole fucking movie, Alan. This
right, coming from the guy that was judging God of War and didn't even play it.
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't review the shit, and by the way, like it's still good. I'm just saying I want to buy it because as I can see, it's very linear, and my gameplay style is no different than anybody else's. Not saying it's absolutely terrible. But on top of that too, as far as God of War goes, is that's probably an 8 to 12 hour game, and I experienced about 7 hours of it. That's a lot of stuff to be able to do. And by the way, I would have had to pay to get God of War. This was free. We were watching it together and a hangout or not.
Hey, if you can find a way, you can find a way to get God of War free.
I don't want to because I like to pay for shit that really deserve it. This probably doesn't deserve it, but for what it was and it being free because we watched it free, it is a film and it's only an hour and a half long. And you guys quit. And I
thought the movie's a lot longer than that, dude. It felt longer.
For you guys, it felt longer, but it's like that's because y'all don't like good stories.
I'll be honest. I just wanted to watch some bad shit with you guys, and that wasn't bad enough.
It's one of those things where it's like it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I'll never say that. But honestly, going through it, it's like it just felt very stale and very like, yeah, The Rock is interesting and he's trying, but I felt that he's not trying as much as he normally would in another movie where he's trying to be funny, charismatic. This is him being just as serious. And I don't think he necessarily does serious well. I think he needs somebody to kind of bounce off of. When John Bernthal pops on, every line of dialogue he says in this movie is gold. He's the person that I think would have been a great main character. He should have been the main character. Because it makes sense for him to go undercover. Every single time he spoke in this movie, I was like, yo, I want more John Bernthal because he's great as this kind of like a reform. But basically, I just thought this is the prequel to Punisher because it fits 100% because he's a construction worker and he's like criminal and he has the same hair. This is the prequel to Punisher. But as he's talking through every line, it's like, that's interesting. That's the part where I was like, okay, I'm more interested. But honestly, everything with The Rock and him just being serious just felt very boring and the generic. It just felt very generic. So maybe eventually does get action-packed. It did not feel it. And we watched 30 minutes of an hour, and like I looked it up, it's like an hour 50-minute movie. It's like that's a good portion of it. This is like the whole Deep Impact thing where it's like we watched a bunch of it and it got nowhere. And it's like maybe it does escalate, but to a certain degree, it's like you have to keep people hooked in to continue the rest of your movie. You can't sit there and be like, yo, man, we got a great finale, but you got to sit through an hour of bullshit. It's like, and it's not a good movie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, people, if you guys are wondering what the movie's about, basically it's about this little kid or not a little kid, he's like 17, 18 years old, and he goes to prison, or to jail, and then going to go to prison because of the fact that, he went to help out a friend who was like, hey man, sell some drugs for me. Nothing's going to happen to you. He sells the drugs, ends up going wrong, everything's going fucked up, and he has to do time. And The Rock is trying to make deals with, the FBI and the police and all that stuff to, help them solve on catching the cartel, whoever the fuck was responsible for this. Sure. And their deal is to let the kid have, what do you call that? Fucking when you get out of jail, and you're still in trouble.
Get out of jail free card from Monopoly.
Is that even real? Like, oh, my son got arrested, let me go undercover. Like, is that a thing that happens?
No, it is a thing. And I know for like family reasons, like that's definitely a thing. And,
oh shit, okay.
Yeah, and it's like the person was on parole. That's what it was. They're trying to get the kid on parole and get out of prison because if not, he was gonna be in there for like 20 years. And every time The Rock goes and sees him, he's more beat up. Every time he sees the kid's like, one black guy, then two black guys, then broken nose, then cut up, scratch,
then three black guys.
Yeah, 4 black guys. Then 5 guys. No, but yeah, it's just fucked up. Everything's horrible. And you got John Bernthal, who is trying. He used to be a gangster, he used to be an undercover type dude, he used to do a bunch of bad shit, and now he's trying to clean himself up for his wife. But now he has to go back into it to make some more money because they're about to get kicked out of the house and they live in the ghetto and blah blah. So you get all these crazy stories that have nothing to do with each other. I hate when things are too connected. I hate when someone walks by somebody in a restaurant and it's like, okay, these two somehow are connected and they're gonna meet each other later on. They have no connection. It's just the story leads them to each other because, it is what it is. But these stories are completely not in the same thing. And like for me, when it comes to that, it makes sense why when they do find each other, it's like they don't trust each other and whatnot, and it ends up becoming a thing like, okay, is The Rock a bad guy? Is John Bernthal a bad guy? Is this actually going to work out? Because both their stories are going to cancel out each other. So who's going to fucking come out with the good ending versus the bad ending? And this movie does not end the way you think it's going to end. I think there's so much fucking, action at the end and everything like that too, and lots of crazy stuff happening, that even though it's a very generic film, it's still pretty fucking, good for I mean, you hate Faster. Faster came out around the same time. And I think Snitch is a lot better than Faster, although I don't think Faster is that bad of a movie. I think you hate the movie for... I mean, you're just like, dude, movie's so slow, blah, blah. Like...
the movie needs to go faster.
For a fucking action movie, fires 6 bullets over the course of the entire movie.
God, I hate that complaint so much!
It's
oh my
stupid!
God.
Man.
Yes, that complaint is so stupid.
This is the most intense action movie ever. I fire half a fucking round of a regular gun.
Dude, action doesn't have to be gunshots, man. No, I don't know, man. It is what it is. But for me, this movie, I would give this a rent. I mean, I think this movie's fucking good. I think that it does. If you had $2 to spend to just get this on PlayStation, whatever the fuck the video thing is, yeah, I would rent this on there. It's fucking cool. I like the story. It's like you said, it's not too long, but it's an hour and 50 minutes long. That's all right. John Bernthal's being John Bernthal. I mean, if you want, an extension of his Punisher character, you get that here too. I like this shit, man. But what would you give it, Alan? For what you saw, you didn't see the entire thing.
Honestly, I give it an avoid it to some degree. It's like, if you end up watching it and liked it a little bit more, but it's very slow. Like, when John Bernthal shows up, it gets a bit more interesting. Maybe the movie continues with that. But honestly, I think you can really just kind of avoid it. It's really, you're not really gaining anything from it, honestly. This isn't The Rock was trying to be a serious actor and just didn't work out. He works out better when he's trying to be, like, semi-serious and joking. When he's part of, like, a little bit more of a comedy. I think that's where he really shines. He just doesn't really do the whole dark and gritty action movie role well at all.
Yeah, and, Julian, you saw a little bit of this. I mean, for what you saw, what would you give it?
I don't know.
Man. Fucking
like, I would say avoid it, I guess. But, like, it'd be one of those things if I walked in the room, it was on TV, I guess I'd sit there if people were watching it, but, like, I'm never going to look for that shit.
Now, one thing that I'm definitely not going to look for, and I cannot stand this shit, and I hate people, the irony and movie nerds and fans get on my fucking nerves. And this goes with Ganja. Ganja, you liking Doom, I'm sick of you being a fucking meme. This is
oh my god, I can't believe this shit. I can't believe this movie.
No, spoiler, it's a buy it.
No, I hate this fucking movie, man.
I wouldn't go that far.
I'm with Nick on this one. As a kid, when I saw this as a kid, I really enjoyed it because I'm like, hey, this cool action. I like the first person thing at the end. I love Carl Urban and anything. And then I watched this up, I'm like, this movie is so fucking boring. Holy shit.
It really is for
the
being
action
Doom.
is incomprehensible.
Yeah, like for being Doom, you have so much. You don't have to tell a story. Just shoot shit. Like, what the fuck?
And there's a story. Garbage. It's all about demons and shit. But they avoid putting this movie. This movie is so weird because it's rated R. But at one point they have the big fucking gun. They call it the big force gun. But they swear a bunch of times in this fucking movie. It's supposed to be about they find a portal to hell on Mars. but they say now it's a virus, but they mention fucking like evil gene, and they say Lord and hell all the fucking time in this movie. So it's like, why not just make it demons?
Yeah.
Why?
It's so all over the place. It's like many people were writing this and they just disagree with each other. So I was like, you know what? I'll make my own portion of the movie. Well, then I'll make my own portion of the fucking movie. Yeah. Like, no, fuck you, man. This fucking movie is awful. The Rock is terrible. Horrible actor. That first person scene where it's like, oh, it's just like a fucking video game. That is terrible. After watching Hardcore Henry, after watching certain music videos that I've seen are really badass, it's like that is some underwhelming ass shit. And I've seen first person stuff done before this fucking movie that were better than this. Granted, less budgeted. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm not okay. We're not saying that's the greatest fucking first person thing of its time. I'm just saying that it's still a good part of the movie. And the thing is, the rest of the movie is incomprehensible action scenes. At least you could see what was going on. Do you remember there's a one scene where one of the guys is fighting the fucking guy in a fucking fighting pit of electricity, like he's in Mortal Kombat? Yeah. You can't see a fucking thing that's going on.
Yeah. It looks like shit.
No, it's like some Batman Begins shit, man. It's fucking ridiculous.
Not even then, because at least like it might have been up close in Batman Begins, but at least sometimes it's in the daytime. That shit was like a load of the dark levels of like the entire thing is darkly lit except for a few random flashes of light as we fight this thing.
Yeah, y'all giving it too much review to the point that you giving it logic, reason, doubt for some reason. Like, you guys are giving us too much fucking brain power. Sit back and enjoy this piece of shit. This movie, honestly, you're right. The first hour is fucking boring. It doesn't pick up until like the last hour when the demons start showing up and they fuck up the base under Las Vegas. But after that, this shit just turns into a fucking real hyper video game movie. And I'm just give yourself the ride. Like, I know it's not the best first person, but as a kid like me who went to go see this, my dad at the age of 13, I loved every minute of those fucking action scenes because it got the only point to the video game. After that, it dropped the ball and it got to its regular action film with the
man, this movie, I forgot that there's a scene at the end of this fucking movie in which Carl Urban, who's now super powered because of some stupid bullshit, once again, shitty science in this, well, you're the 24th chromosome, now you're different. Fuck you, you're now sick and dying. But now he gives him random superpowers, and it's the same thing for The Rock. He gets random superpowers, and I did not remember this in the movie. They have a random choreographed fight, which is the best choreographed fight in the movie. Like, this entire movie is that action, and most of it is sucked. The first person stuff was at least well choreographed so you can see what's going on, good lighting, all that jazz. And then the last fight, they have a kung fu fight. I made a thing of the choreographers just took lunch and just came back to choreograph the last fight and then left. Because it's the only part of the movie that's actually filmed well with good lighting and actually good choreography and actually good fight moves and it looks cool. It's the only part of the movie that legitimately looks cool.
Yeah, this movie, like I said, man, I know, Ganja, you like this ironically, and that's fucking great, Ganj. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you, but fuck you. This fucking movie is, for me, I'm going to give my rating right away, too. I know Julian basically already gave his, and I know that we're doing this really, really short, really, really fast, but ain't nothing to say about something so terrible as this fucking film.
Who the fuck is you?
Oh, shit. Hey, Allie.
We're going on so long that Allie showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, jeez. I look like I'm in the shadows.
I know. I look like you were dealing with the fucking lighting from Doom.
You don't look like you're wearing a towel. What the hell?
Yeah, yeah, you're at the beach right now.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, you were at the beach?
No, I'm not at the beach. It was supposed to be. It's supposed to be a nice top. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't dress up inside the house. So
just ignore Alan. He hates women. He said it.
Don't fucking man! You're the worst.
That's fucked up. But moving on though, yeah, like for me, like I said, as far as the movie goes, yeah, I gotta give this shit a fucking avoid it. I won't give it a fucking, but it's like, dude, this movie, ironically, it's funny to watch a couple of scenes on YouTube, but to watch the entire thing, lots of the shit, it didn't get ironically funny until like way at the end. Yeah. It wasn't even like this is so bad. It was like, oh, this is bad, and I don't like this. I mean, it was literally just at that point. I couldn't stand this fucking film. Julian, do you really mean you're by it? Do you really like this film? Thank fuck.
No.
Thank fuck. No, what would you give this, man? And any comments about it?
I would give it the lowest possible stream it if you're with someone who's never seen it before, because it can be fun. Like, it's not something you want to take super seriously, but it's fun, like, where they go, like, hey, my name's Pinky. Like, lol, that's the name of the enemy. You know, like,
can I eat drugs on this military mission?
Yeah, I mean, even though Alan complains that on the computer screen it doesn't say big fucking gun, I still like that it's a big force gun, and then The Rock comes in like, that's a big fucking gun. Like, yeah, that's dumb. I'll take it.
Whatever.
Yeah, I see where he comes from in essence. Ganja, what would you rate this fucking?
I'm gonna rate it a ironically probably a good old faction, rent it. You're gonna have fun. If you guys go get a beer, some nice ounce with some good kush, you guys are gonna laugh your ass off, make fun of the movie. The first half is kind of boring. I'll warn you guys ahead of time. But when that shit kicks up, it is just a really fun action movie. Don't leave your brain at the door. Don't give it a really analytical thought. But if you really want to have like some kind of thought content to this is definitely an avoid it. Yes, you're not gonna enjoy this at all.
Did you just say don't give it an Allen thought?
Exactly.
No, analytical thought.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck you mean by that.
Analytical.
Analytical.
Oh, whatever. Well, yeah. Well, if you're not like me, you're gonna nitpick the whole thing.
Oh, fuck you, man. You're an asshole. And with that said, too, like you, man, Alan, what would you rent it? Or what would you?
When I was a kid, I loved the hell out of this movie. It was just, it's action packed. It was fun. But then growing up, I'm like, man, this movie's fucking trash. And there's still parts of the movie that I hated as a kid. The whole, oh my god, you don't shield your baby away from time. Like, that's the stupidest line of dialogue in this entire fucking movie. But it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think I could have got through this if there wasn't a bunch of other people that are bored out of their minds. Because, like, the second half of this movie is definitely better than the first half. Because the first half has so many questions of why any of this would ever happen at all. And honestly, I'd say just stream it. Get it if you do definitely want to see this movie for some fucking reason. Get a bunch of people around. Don't pay a lot of money for this. If you can get this for free, do it.
Now, speaking of this, and speaking of The Rock, the whole night's been The Rock's up because that's all we watched last viewing party. This will be another quick one, folks. Super quick. I'm telling you, dude. One more fucking movie with a helicopter in this motherfucker. I'm gonna get really pissed off.
I don't know why you guys get so mad at that.
San Andreas is 2012, but with steroids, and I literally mean steroids.
No, it's 2012. Don't even add any. It's literally 2012. I think it's the same director, or is that the same director that did? No, it's not the director. I was saying. It's literally 2012. There's a limo chase as the fucking world falls around them and they drive and they're fine. There's the same fucking destruction. It is the same fucking movie.
Hey, hey, Nick.
What's up?
How'd you feel that they found a way to put him in a helicopter in Doom?
Yeah. Oh my God, you're right.
That's how the movie starts. Take a helicopter ride. Why did they have fucking that movie?
Yo, does he own a helicopter like room?
What is he, Harrison Ford? He has his own helicopter?
Yeah, like a green screen helicopter or
They
something.
constantly repainted and shit.
Oh my god, that's
To
so
be
weird.
fair, helicopters traditionally are black, so it's like it makes sense that he had just one they reuse over and over.
No,
Well,
it reminds me of
it's
Tyler
that-
Perry. When Tyler Perry owns that fucking like road hill thingy or whatever the fuck, like in the bushes or whatever the shit. You notice every movie he has to have that road in there because he owns it. It's on his fucking like estate or whatever. So it's like
Weird.
maybe The Rock has like a green screen room with like a play pretend fucking helicopter. He's like, hey guys, let's go filming. You smell what? Like fucking budget.
Hey, all the movies make money, so.
I think what it
Yeah,
is
man.
just, that's the stereotypical, like, oh, look at this badass military dude coming off the fucking chopper.
Oh man, I'm just.
Oh, this one's different though. This one's a military, not military, a medic helicopter.
Look how bad this medic is when he gets the bitches off the helicopter.
And they dressed him up in some 1920s ass Captain America fucking suit. He looks fucking ridiculous here. He looks like a baby. Like, seriously, he looks cute. Like, this is fucking ridiculous. It's The Rock.
That's the outfit they wear.
Well, they're cute.
Well,
God
I'm
damn
glad
it.
you like them.
Well, apparently Nick likes a guy in a uniform.
I
guess
do.
so.
It's fucking
Especially The
adorable.
Rock.
I'm gonna put a fucking pacifier in his mouth and just fucking have him go sucking it all up. Like, no,
So
man.
he's gonna relive his movie, The Pacifier.
Basically, yeah. Wait, did he actually make a movie called
Was
Pacifier?
it never Vin Diesel?
That was
Like,
Vin
he had
Diesel,
was
yeah.
it Vin
Diesel? Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
No, but was it Vin Diesel the Tooth Fairy or is that
No,
The
that's the
Rock?
other way around.
That was the
That was The Rock. The Tooth Fairy.
Okay. I keep confusing those.
Yeah,
Who was the tooth fairy? Who was the pacifier?
Yeah, no shit. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And these guys are in a fucking movie series called Fast and the Furious. We're very
Yeah,
serious.
that's fucking. Hey, they fought in 5, so it's the Tooth Fairy versus the Pacifier. The movie.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that The Rock's next franchise takes off, because nothing will look stupider than a poster that says Skyscraper 2.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Die Hard 2. Come on, we know that's real.
Skyscraper 2.
2, like, building again.
Skyscraper. Sharknado had like 5 sequels, man.
I know how they could do it. Skyscraper 2, the electric bullet glue, and it's just actually an electric. Hold on, it's an actual electric elevator that goes all the way to space. One of those bullshit things they kind of want to build.
Yeah, man. No, for me, it's like, and how many movies are you gonna redo with The Rock too? By the way, it's like Skyscraper and fucking Jumanji, and I'm like, really? And there's talks of him doing Terminator before Arnold came back for Genesis, and I'm like, dude, like, There's only so many movies. Like I'm expecting, like instead of Die Hard, it's Rock Hard. Like his own fucking thing.
No, Commando, man. How have they not remade Commando with the
both of those movies already exist, but they're not on actual legit movie websites.
Hard.
Yeah, Rock Hard. I know it's like the
Rock
asylum where
Hard
porn
is a
star.
movie. It's a parody
Yeah,
with
it is
John
a
C.
movie.
Reilly. That's
No,
real.
Walk Hard.
That's
Yeah,
Walk Hard. Yeah.
And there's a lot of smelling what people are cooking in that fucking thing.
But yeah, like they should do Commando with the Rock. Like, how has that not been? Well, Ganja fucking laughs his ass off.
Welcome back, Ellie.
I'm back.
Anyway, what the fuck were we talking about?
About this stupid fucking film. I hate.
Oh yeah, San Andreas.
I would say I hate Flex Joe. No, I don't. I love it, guys. No, but this dude with this fucking like I just shit my pants ass face. You know, The Rock. He's not the best actor, and it's like it doesn't help when people behind him, the guys who make the movie and shit, they don't really do anything to make up for his bad acting. Sometimes it's like. The Rock is charismatic, but that can only bring something so far. And then when he's actually acting bad, it doesn't help either. But The Rock needs to like fall back on some hardworking people because Jumanji, as much as you hate it, Alan, lots of work was put into that fucking movie. A lot of work was put into it.
And the dialogue in Jumanji is a lot better because it develops the characters in interesting ways. Like, man, in San Andreas, you don't give a fuck about any of those people.
Yeah,
like when that kid showed up at the end, man, I wanted to shove him.
Yeah. And then, like, the wife, too. Like, the wife is literally the same fucking chick that's... And, like, I think she was in a movie with The Rock, but she looks like every girl who's ever been with The Rock in these movies. I'm sorry, maybe it's like another white thing. Oh, why do you look like her? But it's like she acts the same, she sounds the same, she wears the same clothes, she has the same fucking story. Fuck!
But that's the thing. It's one of those things where it's a fucking disaster movie. And as we were watching it, we're like, this is just the formula of every disaster movie. There's what was it? Some sort of a family dispute, either the divorce or they're just having a bad marriage. There's a kid involved here that's dealing with a divorce. The giant effect happens. It's like, this is every disaster movie, right down to the fact that people are surviving all this stupid bullshit. And it's one of those things where it reminds me so much of 2012. So much of the destruction happens here is very similar to the scientists not knowing what the fuck's going on and then trying to figure it out. A lot of the set pieces remind me exactly of the movie 2012. And I hate that movie so goddamn much. And with this, it's like, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not as bad as 2012 because this movie, see, the thing about 2012 is it's one of those things, like I said in the Annihilation review, 2012 tries to be smart. 2012 is trying to be like, yo, man, we're going to put science. No, they try. That's why that movie's so stupid. Like, yo, man, neutrinos from the sun. They're going to be heating up and they're going to melt the mantle of the earth, and that's going to cause all these problems. Like,
isn't this the movie where a dog walks on a tight wire?
In San Andreas or 2012?
Oh,
whatever the fuck he said.
I don't think it was.
I don't think that happened in either of those movies, buddy.
Yeah.
What's the dumb movie with the guy from Hot Tub Time Machine with the limo?
Oh, that was a good joke. Shut up.
Anyway. The thing about that is it tried to be like after it does its stupid concept, it then tries to be every action movie. It's every disaster movie. It's an earthquake. It's a tsunami. It's a volcano. It's almost like not so much an asteroid, but it's like every single disaster movie you could fucking think of. 2012 should be. This movie doesn't. This movie's like, yo, earthquake. That's it. So I like this a little bit marginally better, only because of the fact that it's not trying too hard. It's like, yo, earthquake, and just we're saving my daughter. That's it. Everything else is just a typical thing you see in any. You can write down a list of every single thing in a disaster movie. It's a bingo card list. You'll get bingo at some point. But at the end of it, it's just people are just doing their jobs. People are just doing their things, and it's like it just feels like all it was the effects, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it's like if you just want to see a bunch of effects, you're not going to be disappointed. But if you actually care about the characters, you're not going to like this. If you give a shit about anyone in this movie outside of The Rock, you're probably not going to like this. If for some, like people in this movie get it hard though for fucking like this is a lighthearted movie for the most part. People are getting it really badly in this movie.
Yeah, man. But yeah, like I said, dude, when there's injuries happens or when there's like a big building falls, where the fuck, like it's cool or whatever. But I've seen this the day after tomorrow. I've seen this with Into the Storm. And I saw this with Geostorm, by the way, and Geostorm was a hell of a lot more interesting than this shit. And I even see
it's Gerard Butler's in it.
I'd be down to watch that bullshit.
Yo,
tonight.
we need to watch Geostorm.
I'm down to watch that shit too.
Hey, there's AI in it.
Oh yeah. Oh man, we're gonna talk about that right now. About the AI or the whole idea of AI movies. But yeah, no, for me when I rating this fucking movie, like I can't help but say like this is definitely another avoided. I know I've been saying that the whole fucking night basically with these fucking movies, but yeah, and avoid it. I would say fuck it, but the thing is to one portion of the team. There's a lot of people that didn't do what they should do as far as like choreography, things like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But as far as like the actual destruction of certain buildings, sometimes it looks fake, sometimes it looks good, and the parts that look good, it looked really good. To the point where I'm like, you know what? I want you guys to work on the next DC or Marvel movie. I want you guys to be handling that. I mean, it was better than Michael Bay shit. It was better than Rampage, honestly. I think Rampage didn't look as
I disagree. I think Rampage had a lot better stuff going. Apparently, it's the same director, so yeah.
Well, I'm talking about just the special effects. As a movie, Rampage kicks this fucking movie right in his fucking balls.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, for me, like, yeah, definitely avoid it for me. But you, Alan, what would you think?
Honestly, I'd say it's another avoided for me. It's one of those things where I'm not mad at it. So if anyone says, "Oh man, I love San Andreas," like, yeah, I could see that because there's some cool things. There's a scene where the woman is falling like the building and she's falling like 4 or 5 floors. I'm like, that's a pretty cool effect. That almost looked real. But a lot of the acting from every single person is it's a drag. There's a really fucking funny part with the tsunami where they just say, "Yo, man, we're gonna ride this thing to the sunset." That's what it feels like. Like, fuck it, we're gonna die. Might as well just fucking have some fun with this. But honestly, it's such a long movie. Why are disaster movies so long? Why do they have to be like 2+ hours? Like, Jesus Christ. But honestly, I'll say this: this movie kicks any Roland Emmerich movie's ass. I don't like. Fuck Roland Emmerich. He's a shit director. I'd rather watch this movie again than any fucking Roland Emmerich movie.
You'd rather watch that again than Independence Day? Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah, I'd fucking watch it over Independence Day. Dude, take out Will Smith. That movie falls apart.
But he is in it.
Oh, okay,
so it makes it
let me
better.
just
I know, but
exactly.
that's the only thing. Yeah, I'm so right about that. That when they made Independence Day 2, it flopped.
No, but that's the thing. But Will Smith is in the fucking movie, so like, they take him out. Well, they didn't, motherfucker.
Yeah, but it's like I'm saying, but like Will Smith isn't on screen for the entire runtime, so there are points where he's not there, and it's boring as fuck.
But, so this movie's better.
Beautiful Jeff Goldblum too.
I would rather. Oh fuck Jeff. I'm sorry. Fuck Jeff Goldblum. I hate Jeff Goldblum
Praise
so
be
much.
the Goldblum.
Man, he doesn't. Fuck that guy so much. I don't know why anyone likes Jeff Goldblum. I really don't.
Yeah, meanwhile, you're over there like, "Oh, Thor Ragnarok is so fucking good. My name's Alan."
Yeah, I enjoyed Thor Ragnarok, but if you ever listen to me when I talk, I hated Jeff Goldblum in it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because you still love that movie and Goldblum.
So what? You tell me there's not a single movie you enjoy, but you hate someone in it?
Good.
I hate you.
Destroy yourselves. Good.
You motherfuckers. You know, Ganja, you know what? I can't stand weed, motherfucker. Like, no, I'm just playing.
Bitch, we better throw hands.
His face did get serious, so that was actually kind of frightening. But it's okay. Julian, what would you rate San Andreas, man?
Avoid that shit like the plague. It's
Avoid it like natural
funny.
disasters.
Man!
Avoid it like The Rock is hard. Like, get away from it.
What?
That makes no sense.
Avoid it like The Rock when he's hard. So is he like Harvey Weinstein? He just whips it out?
You know, he's like Lucy K.
Comes at you like, whoa, bro, don't get me with that.
Let me show you what The Rock is working with.
I would think this is the dumbest review we've ever done, but I don't think it is.
Oh man, dude. Know your role and suck my dick. No. Anyways, Ganja, what would you rate this fucking movie? You
I didn't see San Andreas, so fuck it.
Oh shit. I play San Andreas.
Yeah, you
usually with a video
fucked it
game.
by this point.
No, that's the biggest thing about this dude. Like in 2015, I remember seeing the fucking trailer, or at least like we're showing you the trailer tomorrow on The Rock's Instagram, because I used to look at it because I used to want to work out. And when I saw that shit, I remember it was like San Andreas, and I was like, oh my god, they're doing it! The Rock's gonna be CJ! Holy shit! Like, or maybe Big Smoke. Maybe The Rock's gonna order a bunch of fucking.
San Andreas is a real place, right?
No, I didn't before, bitch.
Man, you must have wanted to go to Lord of the Rings or what was it, fucking Mordor, really badly as a kid, right?
No, cause I didn't like Lord of the Rings because I'm a fucking man.
Or Narnia.
Or Narnia.
God.
Takes this locked into the closet for 3 hours. Oh boy, Narnia.
Hey man, Corey Coleman and co-host 3000 from those school days when it took you to Narnia.
Dude, I wanted to go there so bad when we were talking about it.
Great
No, they fooled me. I really wanted to check that place out.
Yeah,
let's go to Camp Crystal Lake, guys.
They kind of fooled me too, but then I thought about it for a minute. I'm like, nah, they just joking.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we're affiliated with this website called Double Toast, and before that it was Spill.com. And one of these guys they had on there, they were doing a joke with them. The hosts are Corey Coleman and Tony Guerrero. And basically what they were telling this guy that there's a theme park out there in Narnia, and it's like a basic like Disney kind of cutaway shit. And they made it sound so realistic that I believed it, and I was actually looking for places in that place on Google.
Yeah, and it did not exist. But it was fucking a glorious story, and they knew how to fucking paint a picture.
Can't believe that.
But you, Mr. Julian, you saw a movie. What was that movie called again?
It was called Action Point.
Oh. Man.
Is it as bad as it looked in the trailers?
Yes. Yes, it is.
No.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, because aren't you a fan of Jackass and whatnot, and Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah, dude, I love the Jackass movies. I was looking forward to this. I was like, this looks like all kinds of awesome. Like, fuck it. Like, there doesn't need to be a serious plot. I don't give a shit about the characters. Just kick each other in the nuts for an hour and a half, and I will be happy. But they just kind of kick each other in the nuts, like, for, like, 20 minutes. And there's a lot of, like, that was, like, funny. And the thing that's neat about the movie is anytime there's a stunt, they'll hold it on the actor. And you can just see them, like, on the ground, like, ow, in pain. So that's kind of funny. But there's an hour in this movie of, like, Daddy, I love you. You're Johnny Knoxville. I love the Clash. I'm Johnny Knoxville. I'm your father. Okay. This is going to be like The Princess Bride. The end. This guy's going to throw up. Now it's over.
Oh, yeah.
It was just, I wanted to love it, man, but there wasn't enough for me to love, and it was trying too hard to be something that it wasn't. It just needed more hitting the balls.
Yeah, hitting balls. No, I don't think it needs more of that shit too. Because I feel sorry for people who do Jackass. Like most of these guys probably can't have fucking kids because they're hitting nuts so often.
Most of them were on so many drugs that it didn't feel till years later.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. You know, I mean, Bam Margera for one. That guy's been through some shit. You know.
That look the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, the only other Jackass guy who showed up in the movie was Chris Pontius, and anytime he spoke, it was just funny because he's acting like, I'm self-aware. I'm in a movie right now. I have a hatchet.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
No, and I don't like that humor either. It's like, okay, I get it, motherfucker. You play the character. Play the goddamn character and give me something here, you know? But yeah, like, the thing is, like, looking at this too, and I'm not going to watch this fucking movie or whatever, but I do like the fact that they are real stunts because it does help, you know, that the shit is, you know, I mean, it has an effect on you. When you see the shit, it's like, ooh, fuck, you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, is that something that kind of kept this movie from being a complete piece of shit to you? Or was it?
Yeah, that is the only thing that did, because anytime they'd set up for a stunt, I'd be like, oh man, I'm not going to look away now because, like I said, some shit would happen, and then they would hold the camera there so you could see the entirety of the stunt. Like, if someone got hurt, it fucking looked like they got hurt. But it was mainly just Johnny Knoxville doing stunts, which is kind of why it missed out for me. Like, they try to play it off as stunts. It's like, ooh, I'm jumping in the water 10 feet in the air. Like, okay, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, the whole real stunts thing. I'm like, that was the thing back in the fucking like 80s and 90s when it's like we had stuntmen doing all this shit. Nowadays, like, we see so many fail videos that the Jackass appeal just kind of dwindle off. So it's like,
but the Jackass movies, man, that works because they put like too much thought into these dumb stunts, like putting like big costumes or like high production value on these stunts. That's what makes those worth watching and above like just another one of those fail videos, because you are right. And they even acknowledge that in the movie. Like, that was one of the cute parts, like how they try and make it like Princess Bride. At the beginning, Johnny Knoxville's telling the story to his granddaughter, and they're watching fail videos on YouTube. Like, that was like kind of a cute way to start.
Yeah, because they know, like, that's why you can't do that shit anymore.
Now the thing is though is I am wondering, like, do you think there's more to Johnny Knoxville after this too? Because the thing is, 5 years ago he was doing Bad Grandpa and a Half, the movie with Arnold. What was that shit called? Last Stand or what the?
Oh, that movie's great.
Yeah, oh, I love that fucking movie. That was Arnold's big return and shit. And it's like, oh, you're gonna do a Johnny Knoxville? Fuck, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, I was mad too, but Johnny Knoxville's not bad in it.
Yeah.
I think that Johnny Knoxville's always been a decent comedic actor. Like, I don't think that he'll ever get, like, an Oscar nomination or something like that, but I remember seeing him in The Ringer back in the day, and I like that movie. And I think he's fine in this, but he should just focus on getting hit in the balls and not acting.
You can only get hit in the balls for so long.
Exactly.
He could keep doing it.
Yeah.
No, we can't.
The biggest question though is that was this movie a hit in the balls for you though, man? Like, what would you rate this?
Unfortunately, it's an avoid it.
It's
like,
a hit in the balls.
It's not. It is a hit in the balls. It's disappointing. It was hard to watch. Like, I thought going in it was 2 hours because that's what it said on my movie pass. But then when I left, I was like, oh my God, thank God that was over. It felt like forever. And then my friend was like, yeah, I mean, it was only an hour and a half. I was like, no, that was 2 hours. And I checked the time. I was like, oh, that was 80 minutes, like on the dot. And it fucking felt like forever.
Yeah, that fucking sucks, man. But I mean, it is what it is, Johnny Knoxville. Once you leave Jackass and like that, your whole thing you did for fucking 15 years, like obviously you're gonna be kind of like, yeah. So we got this movie where you get hit in the fucking balls. Oh, okay, I guess I'll sign up for that one because that's all I ever did. So it is what it is.
Like, the only reason it's not a fuck it is because I do love these actors, Johnny Knoxville and Chris Pontius, I guess being the only two really. But it's like seeing a friend, like the way that co-hosts would like defend seeing an Adam Sandler movie. You know, it's like seeing your old friend that no one else likes. Like, hey, how you doing? You know,
Lord.
Exactly.
Good luck to the man that hasn't been an Adam Sandler movie. Holy shit.
But you, Alley girl. Now I know you There you go. That's working. No, I know you weren't really prepared to talk about anything because you just came over here and everything. But like, yeah, have you seen anything on Flex and Chill, or have you seen anything you can talk about on Flex and Chill?
Yeah, well, me and Ganja have been watching. Hi!
Yes, girl, yes!
Yes, girl, yes, slay! Okay, anyway. Yeah, me and Ganja have been binging 13 Reasons Why, season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like
yeah. So apparently, as I'm typing this in, the first thing that comes up is bathroom scene. What the fuck happened in the bathroom?
Oh Jesus Christ!
The best one I haven't watched cinema with Ali ever.
Oh my God!
What happened, y'all?
Can I just say that was like, I don't want to say it because in case anyone hasn't watched it yet, but yeah, it's a very disturbing and just like. Cringy scene. Like, I seriously.
We kind of have to talk about it. So let's give like a non-spoiler review at the beginning, and then we'll go into it at the end.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, my overall thoughts of the show, like, I felt for the most part that this second season, I found it interesting, but I felt like it was a little bit all over the place. Like, I felt that the first season had more of like, I guess because it's based off of a book, so there's much more of a structure to it, and like every single episode is about one certain person and like their tape. And if you don't know the premise of the show, which most people do at this point, but in the first season, this girl Hannah, she kills herself, and she's in high school, and she basically leaves 13 tapes to 13 different people, and all of them are like, each one is about a tape for an individual person about the reason why she killed herself. And the second season goes into basically the legal part about like the school could have done more to prevent this from happening. So it's really like getting testimonies from all of like the staff, the students who were involved. So that's basically what the second season is about. So like throughout this, second season, it's all about like hearing actually more explaining about like things that you might have missed from the first season that went on, like certain relationships or people were closer than you thought. But yeah, I felt like it wasn't really like some episodes focused more on a certain character than like I guess it's like someone else than another character. Mm-hmm. And some people were much more prevalent in the second season or stayed more prevalent, and others were really just kind of pushed to the back. So I didn't really like that it wasn't very equal in the way like it really developed more all of the characters that they introduced in the first season. But even so, I really still found it very interesting, and I don't want to say entertaining because it's a very depressing subject.
Well, I mean, it's entertaining in the sense of like you're thinking about like, okay, like I'm into these characters and what they're doing. So yeah.
I didn't find it. I felt like it was a little bit slow at first. I feel like the original show, like the original season, was kind of slow as well at first. But as soon as it starts like showing more stuff that happened when Hannah was alive and who she's interacting with, you're like, oh, okay, this is kind of getting in a different direction, and that's when you start to really get into it. I felt like the show kind of ended. like it ended, I wouldn't say on a whimper, but it felt a little bit like sudden. All of a sudden it just stops and that's the end. And I guess they're setting up for a third season. I don't really know where else they could go with it at this point. Well, I guess actually I could figure out maybe something, but for the most part, I felt like the story almost like concluded. Maybe they could have wrapped up a couple of more things, but I don't know if it really warrants a full 13 episode season 3.
You can call it 13 seasons. Why?
God damn it! Why?
That was great. Well, yeah.
Alan, I'll give you 13 reasons why.
Oh, fuck off! Fuck right off!
I'm gonna be honest, man. That I'm cringed out. Like, I'm numb. Just keep saying shit like that. Yes, but go ahead, Ali.
Yeah, well, that's my thoughts. Ganja, if you want to take it away.
Me personally, I kind of enjoy the series. I agree with you with that. It was very slow in the beginning, but I think that was because it was building up to the giant court case that was developing between Hannah's parents and the school, which I think was some of the strongest parts in the series is when they were doing the Laura court case back and forth. And one of the best things I had was fucking with Alan in the background because me and Ali were watching this, but Alan was playing Arc with 90s. So every few minutes, I would throw something his way when they were doing the court proceeding. And one of the things is I didn't know what sustain meant. So I was like, Alan, what's sustain mean? He goes, either Laura's lying and he wants the judge to believe him and keep going, or he heard some bullshit and wants them to stop. Either way. And I just laughed my ass off with the kind of like very cynical way he handled my questions about the court system. And he's not wrong because the show points out that the court system is really fucked up and shows what sexual assault victims go through when they actually try to receive justice.
It makes you so angry. You're just like, wow, is this seriously? This is like how it treats actual people who are victims, like who go through all of this. And it's trying like, I guess we're not in the spoil territory, so I'm just going to wait to mention certain things. But yeah, it's just like, it really does make you furious about, like, you can clearly see that it's just, it's crazy. And I wish that there could be more things done in the legal system to make it so much more fair and to do more to prevent things like this from happening more in the future. But there isn't, and it's like such a neglect, and it's just awful.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And I do like that the show can actually, touch these particular subjects, and yet be something that's not like held back in the sense of like, hey, like, we're gonna let you bring up this, but then not let you bring up that. I mean, apparently, and I did do some research right now. Yeah, I know what the bathroom scene is now, and it's like, for a show on Netflix, I am surprised that you guys can actually do this. Like,
stop it, guys.
Hey, they did Gerald's Game, man. They can get away with a lot of shit on Netflix.
And honestly, like, I was talking to my boss because she watches a lot of Netflix shows, and she watched 13 Reasons Why.
She watches a lot of bathroom scenes.
No, but she was saying how she really likes the show, but she felt like, well, there's gonna be like so many, like, it's a kid's show, like there's so many kids are gonna be watching, and I'm like, now I'm like, no, it's not. It's rated MA. Like, it's mature. Like, it's not the show's fault if like a teenager happens to stumble upon the show. It's not meant for them. It's meant for adults. Even though it's taking place in high school, it's still dealing.
I wasn't to interrupt, but even if it's meant for kids, it's not meant for like middle schoolers, people below the age of 14. Yeah, you're supposed to be
more
like
mature. Yeah, like what the rating says, mature audiences, people who have a mature mind, which I think actually would be high school is okay. Like, that's fine.
I think what they want you to do, they want you to watch the show after you already committed the acts that are in the show. So it's like, like,
Lord.
If anything, I feel like it's a good show. Like, I don't think it's, like, it has a lot of its flaws in the way that it handles certain things could have been better. But I do think that it is a good show for, like, to raise awareness to, like, to bullying, first off, of what it can do to someone and what that person can do to other people, and what things that can be taken to prevent kids from either killing themselves or hurting other people in the process as well. Like, I think, if anything, like, I know if I was watching this, I was a high school student, I would, and if I were in that situation, like if I was like a bully or did something, I would think twice about doing it after watching it, because like, you just don't know. At least that would be me personally. Although I'm a nice person in general, so I don't think I would ever, like, I don't know what goes through the mind of these kids who feel like they need to just act terribly to other people for no reason. But I do think that I hope that this show at least will get people to start, like, kind of at least think about what they're doing and to, like, just think, is this really something that they want to do, or if it like will hurt or just ruin everyone's life in the process. Like, I hope it just, does more good than harm. I feel like it's still good to show how crazy like a detriment this is to people, and how like just having these things happen can be such a mentally just like disturbing, like what do you call it? Oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought.
Traumatic or what? Yeah.
Traumatic, yeah, traumatic to someone can affect their lives like for the rest of their lives. They might not even get past high school. That's how bad it is. So.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, I mean, there's a market out there for discussing this particular situation, too, in Netflix shows, because no one else wants to have the boss that had to fight over. Everyone's going to tell you, oh, you can't have this on the screen, or you can't talk about that. Oh, you're politicizing this particular thing and making people want to do this, or, whatever. It's just people, in the suits, they're scared to do this shit because it's just something that people don't want to discuss because it's fucking risky. And I like that someone was able to be, touch on that. But with that said, though, I watched a couple episodes with you guys, and for me, I was actually getting into it. I was like, this is not really a bad show. I do like the actors that are involved, but I need to get like a, I would say a protagonist type of character who is doing antagonistic shit. I don't think that when someone is complaining about, having her sex videos out there on the internet or pictures or whatever the fuck, maybe the best thing not to do is to sneak in her fucking window and take pictures of her. That's probably fucking ridiculous. And this is like your hero of the fucking story. Not a hero, but like, he's supposed to be a good guy. Every time he shows up, the music's like, oh, he's obviously good. And it's like, well, no, he's not. He's taking pictures of fucking women when they don't want to be taking pictures of. You fucking show. Like, and
right.
Are you in Rent right now? What the hell are you doing?
I feel like you're merging two characters together.
Yeah,
there's this guy. He has the old school camera wrapped around his fucking neck.
Tyler?
I believe it's Tyler. His wife could be Tyler, Bob, Dale. I don't know what the fuck. But like,
I think you're thinking of Clay, who is like the main person that's like idolizes Hannah and like really really worships her in a way and think that she's just like a perfect girl, whatever. Like, he's the main person, I guess, you follow like through the first season because he's the last person that hears the tapes. He doesn't do that though. He doesn't take pictures of girls like that. That was the other kid.
Okay, well, there's a kid that every time he shows up, that music starts playing, and it's like he's he's obviously the glimmer of light in the situation. Like, wow, what a kind fuck he is. And when he is in a situation, like, you don't remember that when like he's telling her like, hey, I just want to let you know that it's
really
horrible.
Honestly, this doesn't glamorize anyone. Like, even if someone is more decent, there's still a part of them that's kind of shitty. Okay. So like,
and maybe that's why I didn't.
Yeah, they're all very flawed and like negative. There's something negative.
That was one thing that I liked about this season because Ali, you mentioned the whole Clay character. He idolizes Hannah. Yeah. This was like coming to terms because this is something I noticed like a lot of guys go through middle school, high school, and even sometimes in their adulthood. We tend to have a crush on a woman, and we paint them as this most perfect picture ever. And if they don't fit that ideal, then we tend to get angry, or we tend to distrust the person, or we end up basically having negative attitudes. And I think they handled that well with Clay going his emotions and finding out who Hannah really was and trying to accept her for who she really was, and not this idealistic person that he drew in his mind. And I think that's a great message for even guys to fucking watch.
Yeah. But like, as watching this, man, I mean, I don't remember what your rating was for season 1, but season 2, what would you rate this?
I would rate this to go fucking buy it. If you can't buy it, you definitely got to go stream it at the highest quality that stream can be done. Like, you would really
4K.
Enjoy it. What would you say?
4K. Yeah, watch The Misery in 4K.
Yeah, watch The Misery and The Destruction in 4K. It's honestly a good series. Watch it with some friends and family. It'll actually make it more interesting, especially with some of the twists and turns.
Fuck that!
Yeah, really. The opposite to watching the family.
No, honestly, like, this is one of those shows, like, besides some of the sex scenes that go a little bit too graphic, you could easily watch this with your family. Like, there's no
the rape nicely, ladies and gentlemen.
This is just actually they do portray it in a way that's respectful towards people that were sexually assaulted. They don't actually get off in the terms of filming it, and I think it's done in a correct way, in a manner that wouldn't trigger someone who's probably sexually assaulted that's watching the show to figure out what they've done. So besides that, I think this is something you should check out, especially if you got older siblings and your family tends to like watching these drama shows. Now, I know some weird families that watched True Blood together, so there are families out there. That exists. Why? So there's families out. Oh, is that surprising for you? But they watch Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's surprising to me because that show is terrible.
Families out there watch Walking Dead and people getting decapitated every 5 minutes.
Yeah, but at least Walking Dead is interesting.
Oh, there's
yes!
What?
More interesting than fucking True Blood.
Nick, I'll let you have that victory later. Let me finish my review.
No,
But honestly,
I need to finish. Keep jerking it.
keep it on edge, brother. Edge yourself.
He's not a victory. I just fuck him.
But like, honestly, like it's a good show. You should check it out. And if you can handle some of the bullshit teenage stuff, you're really gonna enjoy the show.
So happy. Anyways, Allie, go ahead.
Yeah, like what? I mean, I really agree with Ganja. It's definitely a high buy it, highest quality 4K. Go all out. Like it's worth it.
On the 3D glasses and stuff.
Yes,
all their dick all over my face.
No.
It's great.
No, seriously. Like I really, it's so weird to say like I love this series because it's really like the subject matter is just like the most depressing and like I will say like the first season I felt like if you do suffer through any depression it might trigger you. The second season not as much, but at the same time like I feel like what Ganja said, they're very respectful of like victims of rape and sexual assault. But at the same time getting across how disturbing it is too. Like you really feel, if anything, so much more empathy or sympathy for people who go through that because you feel like you're going through that experience with them. And it just like, you want them to be able to find themselves to get back to normal somehow. Like they'll never be, of course, the same person, but you want them to continue to have a life. And you also want to see them to be able to win against, like legally against these people and to see these people be locked up for a long time, for like the rest of their lives possibly. And yeah, it's just, I think it is a very, I still think, I get what you're just saying about the family thing. I don't know about family show. There is some like, there is some quite strong everything in it. Strong violence, strong sexual content, like, I don't know if I'd say it's a family show. I guess if you like watching, like I said, if you like watching dramas like this and you're maybe with your parents or like, everyone's mature, like, and everything, then yeah, sure. I wouldn't show this to like a middle school kid or anything like that. I think this would just...
Really quick, for everybody in here, anybody in the chat too, even though they'll reply in about 30 minutes because the fucking chat's messed up. But
yeah, what the fuck is up with the chat today?
Because XSplit and because YouTube, I don't know what's going on.
No, they're back in time. I like that. They're keeping track of our fuck ups.
Exactly. But I do
yours.
Yeah. But no. I actually have a question. Are you a piece of shit if you eat popcorn during a rape scene?
Yeah.
That was
okay, no. It depends. Why are you eating it? Because you're like, oh boy, or are you just like, I'm fucking hungry?
That is a legit good question.
Yeah, because like we watched Al dude and I made popcorn before, and the movie starts off and like the girl's like, and I'm like,
I feel like if you were really disturbed, you would stop whatever you're doing and you'd just be like, oh my god, I'm horrified.
It depends on how disturbed you are, because if you're still eating the movie, you're a piece of shit. If you're
I know, if I watch something like that, I stop everything and I'm just like flabbergasted. I'm just like, I can't do anything else. I'm just like feeling so bad for this character. If you're eating anything, if you're doing anything else,
maybe
what if you're already halfway through your eating? Like,
if
you're on your second handful, you're already halfway. Like, I can't stop now. I might as well keep going.
No.
Alan, your excuse is the rape happened halfway through my sandwich.
We should not be laughing at this joke, by the way.
You eat the rest of what you have in your mouth, and then you stop. That's
but then you're eating popcorn, so you do it, so you're like, I might as well keep going.
No. You need to give people the respect they deserve. You do not need to be eating anything in the middle or something like that.
Then it gets cold, and everyone loses.
No.
Everybody loses, Alan.
Like, that looks such like an asshole thing to do, is just to like continue during such a traumatic scene like that. Like, how could you do that?
I don't know why, but I just picture this man eating like one of those giant cartoon subs and shit. And,
I know in the background, like, stop it, stop doing this to me. And like, I don't get it, fuck.
That's like saying, yo, man, watching a horror movie and someone gets their head cut off. I'm gonna continue eating my fries, man.
Bitch.
That's different. Like, that.
Ow! Just... Oh, murder is better. Okay.
Well, if it's in a horror movie, like, it's within a fictional reality. Like,
so is the movie.
This is like 13 Reasons Why is more like realistic. So, like, there's nothing, like, they're glamorizing killing in horror movies. Like,
the weirdest community question we've ever gotten.
It is such a weird question.
Horrible.
Like, that's okay. Like, watching something from Saw or, like, Friday the 13th, or Nightmare on Elm Street. Saw, like, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to eat.
You know what?
But
I'm gonna say, since we're on terrible topics, Ali, let's just go straight to the fucking bathroom scene. Then.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, okay. So we're at.
You guys eat anything during it.
This is spoilers. So if you've not watched 13 Reasons Why season 2, then like mute yourself for a couple of minutes or whatever, because we're gonna talk about some stuff.
Yep.
That yeah. Okay.
Go ahead. I'm not gonna say anything.
Who wants to tackle it? Me or you?
Somebody got harpooned like Moby Depp, but continue.
Oh God.
Moby Depp.
Moby Depp?
Who the fuck is Moby Depp? I don't know.
That's Johnny Depp renamed his son after his favorite fucking.
After what? His favorite whale?
His favorite fucking artist. I love Moby. Moby Depp.
I put Johnny Depp and Moby, the EDM guy, together.
Oh, the fact that you remember the EDM guy Moby, that's another fucking conversation.
Anyways, Ali, you go ahead and tackle this shit. Here's a mop.
Oh God. Okay, so
Here's a mop.
why do I have to be the one to say this? Okay.
Oh yeah,
so,
no, you watch this shit. You're gonna.
All right. So Tyler, the one that is the photographer, or yeah, he's the one that's kind of like taking pictures of some of the girls and like not so like whatever.
He's
taking
busy deserving what's about to happen.
Yeah. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. I didn't like the guy. I felt like he was kind of like playing the victim card, even though he was like responsible for some things that he did. Like it was kind of like a. We'll say this, throughout the whole entire second season, actually even in the first season, like towards the end, it was hinted at that he was probably going to go off. Like he was probably going to end up shooting up the school. Like he started having interest in guns a lot more. He became friends with the guy that was like an anarchist, but even he was just like, yo, dude, you're going too far. But at this point, he... the principal had, told him like, hey, we're going to send you off to this, like, I don't know, this rehabilitation thing or something like that to help him deal with like what he's going through with his issues. Cause the school found out he was vandalizing the school. So he went off, he came back and like, it was a lead up to like, there's this girl that he was like, he kind of liked, but something happened and he was just too embarrassed or whatever. And so he like tried approaching her again. She's like, oh no, I'm actually dating someone else. And then he went to his friend, that was the anarchist. And he was like, hey dude, like, it's cool that you're all right, but I don't want to hang out with you anymore. So like literally he had no one else. And he thinks like everything's good. And then the freaking baseball team, which is like a bunch of rapists. Like, let's just go out and say it. Like not all of them are, but
like one
some
or
of them are
two,
good.
but
some of them, not good.
No, but they make a point out of it to show that like, hey, not everyone's an asshole on this team.
Yeah, but the assholes that are on the team, they decide they're gonna go in the bathroom like after school, and they just start beating him up, and dude gets the mop and he gets the handle and he just right, yeah.
Basically, he lost his virginity to a broom pole.
Oh, he turned butter.
What?
Stop!
Man, that took me a second.
Oh, dude, stop! I can't even talk about it because it just makes me so like I'm very scarred by watching it.
The best was the alley. Oh my gotcha! No, I don't got control of this alley. I didn't write.
I was just like, I don't got the mop. Shit.
I freaked out. I was like, no, I can't. I literally was looking away from the screen. I like literally couldn't handle it. Like I felt like I was crying. Like at some point, I was just like, oh my god, this is too intense for me. Seriously, it was so bad because like it was slow too. The scene was slow. Like they were pushing in.
Well, yeah, you gotta put it in slow.
No, it was awful. Like I was just like, you got your point across, okay? Can we get away from this scene now? I was like the most uncomfortable I've ever seen watching anything. I was just like, I can't do this.
The best is like the stream had froze like maybe like 2 minutes after that, and we had to restart. And I was like, Allie, do you want me to go back to the rape scene to really catch our spot?
It's like, hold on, let me make some popcorn first.
It was so bad. It was so disturbing. Like you really felt bad for that dude. Like that, he was a little. I felt he was slimy and like, oh my god, I did not like that dude at all. But no way did he deserve that. Like he was not that bad. Like
Kirk, by the way, he says Mob went in 13 inches.
Oh my god.
That's fucked up.
That's a fucking good one.
Oh my god.
Oh, and so the best part is, like, I don't know how they're gonna be able to top that in the sense of, like, where's the character development happening? Because the character kind of breaks after this and becomes the general, like, school shooter. And he kind of leaves Clay, one of the main characters, up with the bag with a rifle as he makes his escape. So I don't know if they're just gonna drop the whole like idea of Hannah and stuff and just go straight into like this guy's a crazy kid who might shoot up the school in future episodes.
Okay, can I ask a question too?
At this point, he's not going to. Like Clay talked him out of it. Yeah, Clay talked him out of it and brought sense to it. Clay might be the one who, like, the police were coming, so they see that gun. I don't know. I don't know, but yeah.
Losing it right now. What the fuck?
What's wrong with you?
I'm still laughing at the 13 inches.
Yeah, you clearly didn't watch the show.
It felt like it was.
Nope.
Here.
No, the thing is, and I have another question too, but it's like now this is becoming. It's one of those situations where it's becoming kind of like how It and all these other movies were, Stranger Things 2 and etc., where it's like they try to over-bully the bullies. Like, I understand, like, you know, bullies are bad people, blah, blah, but it's like, there's nothing like, I want to pick on this kid, so I'm going to sexually fuck him with a mop.
Yeah,
right?
it was kind of like out of nowhere, because I thought the kid who did it, he was evil himself in a way.
Was he
but
gay?
Like,
I'm not trying to make a joke, but was he gay?
No. He was like the best friend to Bryce was his name, who was the rapist. So he saw that he was raping Hannah in the first season. Like it's shown in the second that he had known about it, and he didn't do anything or try to stop it. But like there was at a point when they were trying to find these pictures that would prove that, you know, of this clubhouse where all these guys would, like, some of the baseball team would take these girls and rape them. Like they were trying to look for these pictures and they disappeared, and they thought that he had it, and like he literally didn't have it. But I felt like at that point maybe they would have talked a little bit of sense into him in some way. Like, he's still an asshole, but I felt like maybe he would just be kind of like lay low after that. But nope. They went the extra mile, and it was just a bunch of these dudes, and they just screwed this dude up. I was just like, wow. I guess I don't know if this happens in high school. I guess maybe in some ways it does, but I don't know.
I've heard of this shit happen. Usually it's the police that do it to you, but it does happen.
The police?
Yeah, this is kind of a problem with some police departments. They've been known to put knife sticks in your ass.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's not a broom pole, so.
Oh yeah, you know, at least you know if you can handle a large surface area, you'll be fine. You can take it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, aside from that scene, I gotta say, like, this show, like that I don't know, like that right there pisses me the fuck off. Like, I mean, we're making jokes, we're laughing about the situation, 13 inches and etc. But like that it's just something where I'm like, yeah, that's too far. This will never happen. I know it does happen, maybe every now and then.
Too deep.
It's too deep. Yeah, but like.
Stop it. This is not funny.
It's funny because it's so ridiculous it is. Like, honestly, you know what?
It's definitely a stretch.
It is so. Stop it.
Yeah, it's quite the game.
Stop it.
I have to because I gotta keep.
You would just.
I'm just saying, people are not realizing there's a huge plot hole in the situation. Like,
it left me walking crooked for weeks.
God damn. Anyways, the one thing I will say is, like, one thing that makes me laugh about it, and I'm sorry, Allie, if this is a situation that bothers you, but it's like American History X, where we had to have some kind of reason why Aaron Norton sees the side of the black people, right? So the only way we can do this is he's in prison, and then the white dudes fuck him. And they fuck him real good, really long. 2-minute scene of rape. And I'm like, you know, there's other ways
I've
you get
never watched that movie.
Yeah, but it's not.
It's a really great movie, but Nick is not selling it.
Someone out there, he is.
No, because the movie is incredible. I love this movie, but I was like, man, of all the situations that happen in prison, of all the things you could do to figure out that racism is bad, what got you to think black people are not so bad is having a white dick in you. And I'm like, that is the silliest fucking plot twist, or not plot twist, but like, you know, the story arc or transition I've ever seen in a character. You know, like, most characters have something like, well, I realized that the black people being treated bad, or there was a cop killing, or it was this. No, it was, man, a white dude.
It was that, hey, no matter what, people are pieces of shit, no matter what color. Yeah. I mean, I've seen worse